Hello everyone, and welcome to Nexus Revolutions. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Nat, I use she, her pronouns, and I will be your dungeon master for this story. Nexus Revolutions follows on from the last Nexus campaign that I ran, although you don't have to have watched it to know what's going on here. While the events of that campaign have consequences for this one, I will catch you up on anything you need to know as and when it comes up. This game might run a little differently to some D&D games, mostly because we have some homebrew mechanics going on and our players are all playing Doris units, little automatons originally inspired by the robots and sentries in the Portal video games. We're going to lean into sci-fi more than fantasy, and while this is a fun game with plenty of shenanigans, we also have some moments of underlying existentialism that deal with identity, autonomy, freedom, enslavement, and AI, and some quite heavy things. Things are going to change quite radically for our little delightful Dorises throughout the campaign, and the name they use to introduce themselves to you in a moment may be different to the one they're using in-game, so please respect the name that you see on screen when you're referring to them in chat if you're joining us live. And if at any moment you need to take a little step away from the screen for a bit and rejoin us later, please do so. Look after yourselves. It is a fun time, but there's some heavy stuff too. Check out our TTRPG safety toolkit and content warnings if you need to see what's coming up. With all that being said, let's meet the players and have a word from our sponsors.
Hello, I'm Mike. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing DEM 42. I am the horticultural care assistant who used to work under Lauder, they, them.
Hi, I'm Evie, I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing DR33, who uses any pronouns. DR33 was the Doris of Dr. Bindell from the Research Division.
Hello, my name is Josh, I use he, him pronouns, and I play Doris DA225, who uses any pronouns. Doris DA225 was the Doris of Gregarious Tusk.
Hi everyone, my name is Ali, I go by they, them, and I will be playing DEM 24221, who was the Doris of an engineer called Minari. And yeah, let's see what shenanigans we have here.
Check out our sponsor Phoenix Dice for carefully crafted click-clack maths rocks for use in your favorite TTRPGs. Phoenix Dice work with recycled goods, meaning their products and packaging are all made with sustainable materials. You can go to phoenixdice.com to check their entire selection. And if you put !dice into chat, you can enter a raffle for a chance to win some dice of your very own.
Thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You can join us from as little as one of your local currency by following the link in chat or in the description below. Our D20 Club are the best. They have created a fan Discord for us, as well as a wiki page to keep track of all the Roll Together stories. And you can find that at rolltogether.fandom.com.
We are delighted to be supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings D&D characters from novels, adventures, and multiple live streams into a single grand adventure. You can select your heroes and formation and then battle through waves of monsters for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile, and Nintendo Switch. And if you put !code into chat, you'll get yourself a free Electrum chest.
You can find us across social media by searching for Roll Together RPG or by following the links in chat or in the description below. If you can't join us live and you want to see our previous episodes, you can catch up straight afterwards on Twitch, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider by searching for Roll Together RPG.
Finally, we run queer-friendly tables and encourage and support trans and GNC players and characters in our games. Our players and DM may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own. We aim to avoid misgendering but acknowledge that it does happen. We welcome corrections and have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. Check out Safety in Chat for content warnings and some of the safety tools that we use through the TTRPG Safety Toolkit.
Previously on Nexus Revolutions! Our party of Dorises continued exploring the lower level of the Nexus Arts facility at a slightly frantic pace, given that they only had a couple of minutes before the time reset. For those of you who have joined us, words, words are difficult. For those of you who haven't joined us at all so far, the players are all playing small spherical automatons labeled Doris units. They used to work in a magical science research facility which was attacked by oozes from the abyss in a previous campaign, leaving all of the staff, apart from the CEO who escaped, dead. These four escaped destruction because they were in a storage cupboard due to be investigated by engineer Minari after they all glitched. But they then woke up and discovered that not only was everyone else dead, but they were now developing autonomy, emotions, and wants. Not only that, they also seemed to be stuck in some kind of time loop, finding themselves returned to the same storage cupboard every 28 minutes. Everything else completely reset, but they were conscious of time progressing. Over the course of multiple loops, they have realized that they had a life before working at Nexus Arts, were likely bought by CEO Gregarious Tusk of a company called Astral Sea Scrappage. They'd previously been networked, been given instructions, and then gone rogue, taking a whole bunch of other unnetworked Doris units. Or we could call them what they actually are if you haven't guessed. They were all rogue Modrons. They all went cruising around the Astral Sea, having parties, and they went on the run from the forces of Primus, who had been hunting them down to stop them, because can't be having rogue Modrons sweeping around the Astral Sea. It's not good for the look, you know? So, that all happened in the past, though, and they'd started to realise all of these revelations. Back to their discoveries in the present. I think the main one that we found in the layer below the engineering, in the lower level Great Hall, was the Megadrone, or Megadoris, now previously built by Tinker, which might just give them the firepower to stand against the centipede-like automaton that keeps heading into the Arboretum, and is likely connected to why time keeps looping. Hint, hint to the players who have not quite figured everything out about that just yet. So, Dree also discovered the existence of the Luma Edraith, created by Dr. Durrani, which is a device whose name means time rescue, not keeper. If you heard me say it meant timekeeper last session, ignore that. I actually had time to find where I'd written down the exact translation, and it means time rescue. There you go, change your notes. After a massive influx of information and emotions, the group decided to spend the next loop doing nothing productive, having a good old party, and fair play to them, to be honest. But Curiosity, living up to his name, snuck back into Tusk's office and used the lift that exits the facility. On his way up, he passed through the anti-magic field that protects the whole of the Nexus Arts unit, which cut him off from the network that connects them all, meaning he could not share with the group the vision of the outside world, the sun, sky, and trees. And these are things that none of them have seen since their memory were wiped by the Scrappers. So it was a very bittersweet moment. Once the next loop happened, Curiosity was reunited with the group, and they decided to use the next loop to explore the Arboretum. Finally. As thanks to Sassy, they'd found the maintenance map of the facility with all the secret passages and air vents. As they explored, Dree found a magical blue rose, Curiosity found a little singing mushroom, and Tinker and Sassy pushed through to the back to Dr. Hildy's office, where they found a pile of items, deactivated Doris units, and something that looks like the Luma Edraith. Time rescue. Update both of your notes now. Something that looks like the Luma Edraith time rescue device that they might be looking for. We now return to that very moment where a voice above them has said, "What are you doing here?" Now, I just want to check before we go again. Did that make sense to everyone? Any questions?
I can't remember if do I have my mandolin in this loop? I don't think I do, but I can't remember.
In this loop, no. You all went down to Tusk's office to get the armor for Tinker, and for Tinker to go and have a little memory in Tusk's office, and then you use the secret passages up to go straight into the Arboretum.
Okay.
So no mandolin, but you do have a little shiny blue rose that you found that you thought specifically, I know someone who knows about plants and they should see that. And as a reminder, yes, yeah. Curious has a little singing mushroom that he's found, but I'm focusing at the moment on just Tinker and Sassy. So, above you. That was a lot of information. I apologize. That was quite a big recap. So, take a moment. You're in Dr. Hildy's office. Pile of treasure ahead of you. Sleepy Doris units ahead of you. Silver rod with elven-like engravings along it. Probably the thing you're looking for. A voice above you says, "What are you doing here?" The two of you, for the podcast listeners, just silently look up awkwardly.
Can you remind me what was the first message the first indication that we received? There's been an emergency, something like that.
What, when you were in the when you were in the
capsule,
storage cupboard? In case of emergency, push button to exit.
There's been an emergency. We press the button. DEM 24221 reporting.
Nice. As you look up, it is quite dark, but you do have dark vision, so you can see in the grey of the darkness above you, and sort of emerging out of the tangle of vines and plants is a dragon. And as she leans out, "What are you talking about? What are you doing in my hoard?" This dragon has smooth, dark grey skin, black wings attached to her front legs. So as she's crawling out of the plant, it's not like there's wings getting stuck behind. She's very slender and sleek. She has very pale, almost translucent eyes. And as the long neck pulls out of the foliage, you can see little ridges form that, as she gets closer, look less like solid bony, spiny ridges and start to look more like mushrooms and fungus. And she will climb out and then deftly drop down in front of you and sort of rise up and tower over you.
Just as a scale, we're tiny. Is this creature, is this an adult dragon?
I mean, she is large. Do you want to make me? I mean, you.
I mean, one of the arms. The people in the head.
Make me a history check with disadvantage to see if Minari and Shell, the engineer, have ever talked about dragons.
Maybe not. At disadvantage, I got a big 7.
A big 7,
Big
great.
Fat 7.
I mean, this dragon's large compared to you. She's just pretty big.
Dory says, we have a situation here.
Oh, no. It appears we have stumbled across a new creature. How did you come to be in this place? Really trying to hold the robotic voice. How did you come to be here? This is Nexus Arts, owned by Gregarious Tusk.
Not for some time. This is my lair now. Have you come to join my horde? If not, be gone.
I am stumped on what to say. Where did you come from?
I came from the Underdark. Where did you come from? How did I miss you before?
We came from storage unit 1.
What?
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 Well, this is going nowhere. Leave, be gone with you. Disturb me no more. Unless you wish to work for me.
Can we take that? And I point to the silver rod.
No, that is mine.
Can we trade for it?
What do you possibly think you could have to trade for that, my most prized possession?
We
Look
have
toward-
memories
Oh, yeah,
from
look towards-
outer space.
What?
Memories from outer space.
What is outer space?
Exactly. Something that you don't know.
Make me a persuasion check.
Well, I have charisma.
While you're rolling, can we see
You-
this
yes,
/ know
so-
what's going on?
So Dree and Curiosity, you are networked, so you know that this is going on, and this is probably about enough time for you to have made your way to the office as well. If you would like to, you can remain hidden if you choose, or you can walk right in. Up to you.
I think I'm going to try and go in as quietly as I can, but everyone will hear in their heads, perhaps we should set ourselves on fire, because if we're so hot damn, we'll make a dragon want to retire, man.
That plan doesn't
Yeah.
even make any sense, but you got to admire it.
Oh, don't punch it up. 9.
9.
Clearly, we need the bar here.
Curiosity will walk up and be like, maybe we could also sweeten the deal with additional information.
Tell me. I'm listening, but you are on a very short fuse.
What if we could warn you of an imminent
Do you mean imminent?
things, which is attack on you that could, one's not going to assume your power because you look mighty powerful.
I am very powerful, yes.
Yes, yeah, no, you can see that. You give yourself, off this incredible vibe. Back me up.
It's my
please, back me up.
spores.
Yes,
Um,
very much.
Yes, indeed.
But there is something incredibly dangerous and powerful that we know potentially at some point in the future is going to enter into this area and could take you by surprise. But with our warning, you could take them by surprise and secure your home and its safety.
What? How do you know about the future? What could you possibly know that I do not?
Well, we know about space and you don't.
Make me a persuasion roll with advantage.
Shit, but no.
She
I don't
says.
wanna
Why aren't I doing this? Oh no.
Are you still trying to be stealthy, Drew?
Well, it depends how close they are to the dragon is to the item. Like, are they right over it?
I'd say she's within like 15 feet because the other two, Tinker and Sassy, probably got quite close to it when she poked through the foliage from above.
Okay. Well, basically, I've got +8 to sleight of hand, so I was gonna try and palm it to have a look at it.
Great.
Just as well us three are like desperately like trying to. Drew's just like yoink.
Okay. In that case, Dree, make me your. You want to do sleight of hand and not stealth?
Yes.
Okay. You do that. I will roll contested perception and curiosity. What did you roll?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 for persuasion. Fun. Okay. Great. Evie, for your roll, I rolled a 16.
I got a 25.
Hot dang.
Make a dragon want to retire, man.
She winds her neck round to look at you, Curiosity. She does take up a lot of this office. Like, her tail is sort of, now she's come out from the plants above, like her tail is slopped down. And I think there's a moment where Dree, it kind of flicks. It does that thing like cat tails do, where occasionally it just kind of rises up and sits down again. And it comes down like right in front of your face, but you've got that like, and like you managed to pause just in time and then sneak past it as it flicks up again. As she's distracted, and she turns to Curiosity. Tell me what you know, then. I am intrigued by you, little shiny ball.
That felt like a compliment.
I do not compliment. I merely state facts.
Oh,
Don't get overexcited. Tell me what you know.
If we have a deal, right?
I've considered it.
I don't know what that means, so I'm just going to take that as confirmation.
It means I want to hear what you have to say, you fool. Carry on.
So, this big, crazy, creepy, crawly critter is going to blow a massive hole through your wall in about how long?
At this point, she checks her notes. At this point, you've got about 8 minutes before the centipede creature burns their way through the wall. So 12 minutes roughly before the usual time where you would expect the time reset to happen.
In exactly 7 minutes 54 seconds, a creature of mechanical structure is going to blow a hole through that nicely overgrown wall, enter into here, and cause all kinds of hell and uncomfortableness. And I assume you'd prefer it not to do that. It's also incredibly powerful, so I assume getting the drop on it would be really helpful for you.
And how does this creature function? What do you suggest is the way to stop it?
Tinker? Curiosity just looks over to Tinker.
I suggest, and I drop the voice, I suggest that an ambush would be the most appropriate way for us to deal with this creature. I can see that you are very adept at hiding in high and dark places. Maybe you could climb up above and hide in the darkness while we tackle it head on, as it were. And then when the time is right, you pounce down and you destroy it so that it does not get to your horde. That is his ultimate goal, is to get to your horde.
I am very good at pouncing. What do you think this creature that you speak of desires about my horde? It is very desirable in and of itself, I understand, but constructs like yourselves usually are not interested in artifacts in this way.
Building material.
Building material.
Looking to build its own army, and we would like to stop it.
I like to imagine there's a moment where she has gone to gesture to the top of the pile, a bit like constructs like you are not usually like interested in artifacts such as this, and you said building material just as she's turning and she's gone, what? Just as like Dree is like Dree, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that you sneaked back down again with your 25. Are you just like gonna sit there with it and look at it? Are you trying to sneak off? What's the plan now?
I'm gonna try and... Oh, they could use my... No, they're doing fine. They're doing all right. You guys keep at it. Working their charisma. It's all practice. I'll try and sneak around the corner to have a proper look and inspect of it.
Okay, cool. In that case, you can make me an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, I'm not great at this, but I rolled an 18, and that's a flat 18.
Great, that's pretty darn good. I mean, it looks like the thing that Dr. Durrani described. There is a sort of trying to think how to describe it. As you're sort of holding it in your hands, you can feel that weird stretching, warping sensation that every time has warped. again. You can kind of feel it pulling you and pushing you a bit as you hold it, like it doesn't really want to sit still. And it sort of feels like you could kind of jab it into a point in time. I think there's some complexities to this. You can tell there are complexities to this that might warrant going back to Dr. Durrani's office to find more research to figure out exactly what like how it works if you wanted to use it to your advantage. But you get the feeling that this is definitely the thing that is causing the time loops. It doesn't feel that easy to destroy. And actually, I think given you only rolled an 18, but I think given the nature of the research you were helping Dr. Bindell with, there is it feels of this plane. Obviously, like Dr. Durrani made it, it is of this material plane, but there's something harmonically, it's got a funky harmonic energy, like it defies usual logic. I'll leave that. I know it's very cryptic, but I'm gonna leave that with you. A strokey bit. Back in the room with the dragon. Building materials. What are you talking about now? Okay, well, either way, we need to clearly stop it. So what is your intention? How are you going to attack it while I hide in the rafters?
We are going. I think the plan is for us to draw it into the central area here, allow for some of the more lively plants here to begin attacking it, and then we will again begin attacking.
I do like the thought of taking it away from me and my horde. That does appeal. How long do you think we have? You said we had about 7 and a bit minutes.
We've got 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
Okay. What are your names?
Oh,
I am DA225.
I'm going to make an insight check. Are you trying to... Can you roll me a deception check?
I can actually roll it on the character sheet, can't I? Aha! With my clockwork dice, that's a 16.
Yeah, she totally accepts it. Do you? Either of the other ones that are there.
Curiosity.
I'm
Curiosity.
Sassy. And my name is Sassy.
Right, okay, it's not just that's your general attitude. I understand.
Super random.
Strange that you have an alphanumeric name, whereas the other two have proper names.
I haven't given myself a name yet. I'm still trying to find it.
Oh. Okay. Why don't you just call yourself the first thing that comes into your head?
DA225.
Well, you must have a very small head. You were going to say something, Curiosity.
Just a super unconnected question.
Of course.
But is there a piece of information that you could tell us that we would know? So if we said it to you immediately, it would immediately gain your trust and allyship without having to go through this entire conversation every single time. It's just a really random thought, like provoking test that as Doris has put through, and I was just really interested to see what your answer as a magnificent dragon would think of.
That is a very curious question indeed.
It has to be true though, and would work.
What if I don't want you to be able to persuade me to trust you?
Well,
You're also implying that I might forget you, which is laughable. Ha ha ha!
yeah, well, absolutely, because, I mean, we're pretty much guaranteed to be dead in front of you in 5 minutes and, 4 minutes and 54 seconds. So it probably won't matter. It's just really interesting. You'll find it enriching and thought-provoking for yourself, I promise.
Make me another persuasion check.
In the psychic link, you just hear, get the dragon's name, and maybe it's Dream.
Oh, you. That's a natural.
Mike's dice, strike again.
I'm back, baby.
Can I silvery barbs that?
I will allow you to roll it with advantage because I think you're all trying to work together. Go on. I will be nice.
Why not get someone to just interject and then they can roll?
I'm this close to coming in to save you. This close. But I believe in you.
Guidance.
Oh, guidance, yes. Okay, so that's a 14 on the dice. And then a persuasion, so that's 14. So, 18, and then a d4. For a dirty 20.
Smashing.
Stack.
Very well, I will play your little game, although it seems to matter very little. My name is Ashnon Caro. And I've only recently moved here. I have escaped from the Underdark there was a series of untoward infestations near my previous horde. You met mind flayers. I do not recommend getting involved with them. Anyway, there were too many for me to deal with, so... But fortunately, I found this place, which was supposed to be better and safer and all mine, with no one else here until you showed up.
Yeah. So if we told you that, would you immediately believe in us and be our allies?
Well, that seems a moot question, because we are having a tenuous allyship right now, are we not?
No, you're right, but the progression of this thought experiment would mean that you have truly allied yourselves with us and not just in words alone.
I feel like I have to see how you act upon the battlefield and your efforts in saving me, but
Shit.
I
Okay.
imagine it would intrigue me at least. And you have been very intriguing so far, so I am curious to see where curiosity takes me.
So we've got 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
In the corridor, can I try something that will probably not work, but just want to experiment with?
Please do be my guest.
In examining it, I would like to try and turn it off by casting Dispel Magic on it.
Please go ahead and try. What do
Okay.
you need to do for Dispel Magic?
Let's see. So, object. Okay, so any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell 4th level or higher, must make an ability check with a DC of 14 plus the spell's level.
I'm going to ask you to roll first, and I'll tell you for why after.
Okay. 17?
17. You get the feeling that this magic is it is more powerful than your current attempts, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt with the 17 as well. You get the feeling that it's not as simple as just turning it off. There is something fundamentally broken about the way that it's acting. And you might need to, play with it a little bit more, or see it in action a bit more.
Okay. Do I get the feeling that it might be useful to kind of have it in eye line when the next gong goes to kind of see how it reacts?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Interesting. With that, I will kind of slip into the room. Obviously, it's hidden. It's be like, oh, you're all in here. Are we having another party?
There is another one of you. Where have you come from?
I came from the corner. I was looking at a very pretty flower.
Oh, there are pretty flowers around here, yes.
Yes. Would you like a pretty flower? I can bring you one.
Yes, please. It seems we have time. You may bring me gifts.
Okay, I will go and bring you a very pretty flower. And I go get the blue rose.
Aha. Interestingly, curiosity, what did you do with the little singing mushroom? Did you just leave it happily singing in its bed, or did you bring it?
It's on top of my bucket on my head.
Okay.
Just vibing out.
I realize we should have acknowledged that this entire time you've been having this conversation. Maybe it's added to your roles. There's just been a little like etc. I think while we're waiting for the rose to come back, Ashna and Kara will turn to you and say, "You can turn that thing off now. It has been cute enough for long enough."
Side of the bucket.
Good. Put it away. You return Dree with the blue rose. Ah, intriguing. How did I not... You found this just outside?
I did. Perhaps its unusual properties were drawn here by your absolute raw power.
Yes, that must have been it. I do feel like I should have noticed that before then. Maybe it has only recently grown. Anyway, I will take it.
A beautiful flower for a powerful dragon.
You are good at bowing. You should do it more. It is quite entertaining to watch with your stubby legs and tiny arms.
Yes. Would you like to see a funny dance? I'm just going to keep it distracted so it's not killing us while we wait for something to happen.
Sure. I just want to just ping out to you as well, curiosity. That rose is unlike anything you've ever seen grown down here before. It's really intriguing to you. Might I say you are curious about it? Not say, suggest. Does anyone have anything else that they want to say or do? You have got a couple of minutes. Otherwise, we'll do a time skip.
I'd like to get myself into a position where I could see everything going on around me.
Okay. You'd have to leave the office hoard to do that, because it's sort of part of the reason that she chose this place for her hoard is it's relatively like walled off and enclosed. So there is a doorway at the far side. So you could go out and then hide in a corner in the main arboretum itself to see a wider view.
Yes, please.
Anyone else? Where would you tactically like to be?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tinker and just sort of see what's going on as it enters in. Whether it even actually goes near the dragon or not, or if it just like buzzes on by elsewhere.
Great. Dree and Sassy, where are you going?
So there's probably not any need to keep the dragon seduced. That's not the right word. Entertained.
Your dance is so alluring.
Enticed.
Yes, bow more. It's probably not going to destroy us if I stop being entertaining. So I would like to. Probably don't have time to get the mandolin. I don't have any pockets, do I? So no. I think I've hidden the stick in a pot, just kind of like behind a thing.
Okay.
So I'd like to position myself so I can see the dragon and the horde and the pot, so I can just keep them both in my eye line. Yeah.
Sure. Sassy, what you doing?
I think Sassy knows that the time loop is coming. So it's trying to figure out how to if they could have a magical mean for something, which one would it be? So it's just thinking about like spells that they know.
Okay, cool. So time will pass. Eventually you will hear the of the foliage at the entrance to the arboretum being burned away, and you will hear the clunk, 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 as the centipede-like creature enters the arboretum. You Tinker and Curiosity, from your hiding place, you will see it sort of do the same thing it did when it entered the Great Hall last time you saw it. It will rise up on its haunches a little bit and do a little scan around, and then move to another area and start doing a scan around. Do you want to make me a stealth check, both of you?
Yeah, I will cast without trace on us as well.
Great. I think you might have to do it with. Oh, I wish I could give you half disadvantaged for the, because you have hidden the campestry, but it is still going to be like under your bucket. But I will. You put it in the bucket. I'll let you roll regularly.
I will guidance myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're going into a thing. Everyone take an inspiration.
Inspiration.
Daniel.
25?
23.
Amazing. I rolled really low. So it continues to like scan around until eventually it gets close to Dr. Hildy's office. And clearly its scanner pings something. And it looks slightly more alert. And then it will go back down into sort of centipede form rather than like up on its haunches, and just clunk, 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 into the office. So Dree and Sassy, sorry. Are you trying to hide as well in that office?
Yes.
Sassy's not. Sassy's just stood there. Great. Okay,
Yeah.
good. In that case, Dree,
Waiting for the end.
take me. I'm ready. Dree, in that case, roll me your stealth check.
Sure.
Guidance.
Thank you. I rolled a 1, so well, this is not going to be good.
No, yeah, I can take you to 5.
I'm not in the pass without a trace range, am I?
Well, I don't
Probably
think so.
not, but you know what though, because Sassy is right there first and foremost, you can roll it with advantage because they're sort of helping you, right, by being super visible.
I'll take it. So that was
doing a dance.
That was a 16. And what is guidance? Is
Uh,
that
D4.
18.
Yeah.
Great. So it's going to scan around. It's going to immediately look at you, Sassy. You are incorrect.
You are incorrect.
I was like, that was the dragon's voice. Never mind. Ignore it. Move on. It's going to run up and attack you in the same way that it did Tinker the first time you saw it. But are you not doing anything to resist? Nothing to fight it?
Dodge action.
All right. I will roll to attack you then. Let's. I kind of want to move through this quickly because I know this is not. You are not prepared for this. So I'm just gonna roll a very quick little. Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming. Remind me of what your DC is again.
Very not that high. 17 to hit.
17. I mean, funnily enough, actually, you managed to dodge because you've taken the dodge action. You managed to dodge out of the way, and two of its claws, its sort of pincery, like go dum, dum, like next to you either side, and the tail will whip round and give you a thwack, and it's just going to knock you into the wall for now, and then sort of move on and get distracted. You are incorrect. That's not the voice, Natalie. You are incorrect. But you are not my primary target. Where is the Luma Idraith?
The what?
Where is the Luma Idraith? You have heard this name. It's the name of the wand thing that Dre has been investigating.
Oh, I will never tell you. And I spit on it.
You will be dealt with shortly. It's going to scan around. Dree, you shoved it in a plant pot.
Yep.
Are you trying to disguise it any more than that?
It's covered with dirt.
It's quite long. I don't know if you could pile the dirt up in that way.
Okay, are there any leaves I can just kind of make a thing around it with? Like floral. I need curiosity. You should have been doing this. Given it a nice floral.
Yeah, you should have been speaking to the dragon.
Next loop.
I'm going to, for brevity's sake, I'm going to say that eventually you can have done a little floral arrangement, but it will start wrecking the room. It will also find you and look actually a bit surprised to see a second one of you. You are also incorrect. Where is the Luma Idraith?
I am not familiar with this term. Please provide definition.
I think it's at that point that Ashnan dives out of the ceiling and is like, you were supposed to be attacking it first, but oh well. Ah! And it's going to land on the top of this creature. There is going to be a fight. Ash and Caro will put up a heck of a fight, but would any of you try and help out and interfere?
I use the distraction to grab the device and run for it.
Okay, great. It's going to clock you doing that.
Okay, that's bad.
It's going to shake off Ashnan, and as she is thrown against the wall, it is going to point its fire weapon at her and burn her to a crisp. And she dies.
Silver barbs.
Okay, I didn't actually roll for it, but okay. It points in a different direction and it looks confused and then clocks you. I will return for you later.
You are incorrect.
No, you. It's going to turn and it's going to chase after you, Dree. What is your plan here? How far are you intending to run?
Well, I am going to cast fly on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Fly up to the ceiling as far as it goes. Just see how far. See if I can get back to some labs.
Great.
See what I can get.
So Tinker and Curiosity, you see suddenly Dree flying through the Great Hall, holding onto that silver rod, and pretty close behind, you hear duk, 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 as the centipede creature comes in, looks up, and it does that thing where its head stays the same orientation, but its body twists and grabs onto the wall and then climbs the wall and then the ceiling to follow you at your height. Your fly speed is fast though, huh?
It is. It's 60 foot. But I can dash with it.
Interesting.
Wait, I think I can. How does that work?
I think it just makes your movement speed 60, so if you did dash,
Yeah, they'd be 120
do that as well.
feet.
Cool.
Cool.
The entire time that all of this has been going on, there's been a little red light in the center of Tinker's eye. Maybe recording everything that's going on to maybe keep in memory banks and show to the dragon on the next loop.
Can you do that?
I think I've got magical tinkering, so I can put holograms into objects. So I'm sort of doing it that way.
You can do a series of minor illusions.
Yeah.
In different like.
Yeah.
let me show
and
you my
then this.
slideshow.
This happened, and then if you move it around, it looks like it happened in different orders.
I can't believe I have to say this, but please don't tinker with yourself in public.
Ooh. So anyway, with a 120-foot dash speed, you can keep ahead of this thing. What I'm going to say is, those of you that are keeping track of time, as the creature is following Dree and hunting them down, 28 minutes has passed.
23.
No, 28 minutes
20.
has come and gone. Time is continuing forward.
You'll hear in the psychic link, take it to see if you can Dree, see if you can take it to Dr. Durrani's office and see if you can sort of put it in place. It might extend our time.
Copy that.
No. Give it to the creature.
Like a Scooby snack?
Yeah. I mean, we're not ready for this. Let's loop until we're ready.
But if we can extend our time, then we have more time to get ready.
Yeah, but right now we've been chasing. We're extending a chase. We could reloop till we are all ready, and incorrect is not.
This is true, but also we have to get, if we loop back to where we originally were, we'd have to get this device back off of the dragon again. Whereas
Yeah.
if it's
You
in
leave that
Ronnie's
to me.
office.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, big boy. You want a snack? Hook.
I do not have a gender.
Hey, Big Zay. You want a snack?
Finally, you have made this process a lot longer than it needed to be. I will return to you later, for you are still incorrect.
No, you.
No, you. It will point like another ray will come out of its torso, so not the fire attack, and it will try and shoot at the magical wand. You will see a laser of pure energy hit the wand, and just as it happens, that is when the noise, that low thrum, that low borg, and time starts stretching, and you can see that the creature looks confused by this. It was not expecting this to happen. Time stretches. You end up back in the room. In the dark, before you all awaken, you have another shared vision. Racing, your spelljammer, the Swift Caroline, through the sea of stars. You spot it. A nebula. Escape from your relentless pursuers. You will be safe there. They can't follow you in. There is a lightning storm. The chances of making your ship, getting it through there safely are also... No. Chaos is the way to defeat them. And the words, "Never tell me the odds," call you into the storm. So in you go. And that is the last thing you realize that you all remember before everything went dark and your memories of your old selves was erased. As you wake up in the darkness of the maintenance cupboard, Do you want to all switch to your full character sheets with all of your spells and your level 6 character abilities and everything?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And Sassy, you hear the usual instruction. In an emergency, push button to exit.
Sassy was thinking, and they remember. They are very silent, very in their minds. Push the button, start walking very confident, and in the small shrine that Menare has for Saloon, there's a couple of coins, but there is also like a bunch of screws and like bits and bobs, and take them and says, I know we are short in time, but I have some questions. So they start shaking. And first of all, I'm gonna cast Augury.
Ah, fun.
And I guess my question would be, so Augury says,
Augury's not appearing in this campaign.
you receive an omen from otherworldly entity about a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. How convenient, right?
How convenient.
The DM chooses the following possible outcomes. Now, we are all connected, right? So, I think unless somebody has another question, we can do this every loop, right? So maybe we can ask another thing in the next loop. Which side have we not been yet? The under like the central chambers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we ask, pause as well. Can you drop the name of the dragon and the name of the item?
Yeah. So the dragon, I'll put it. Do you want it in the Discord or the Zoom chat?
Discord, please. Yes.
Yeah. Ashnon Caro is the dragon, and item is the Luma Wraith.
Good. So my question would be, can we ask? No. Does. No. Can. Does. No, I don't want yes or no. How close can Ashnon Caro take us towards the central chamber?
To the central Nexus hub chamber?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get there yourselves. Dree had been to Dr. Durrani's office, which you would have had to walk past the entrance to the central Nexus.
And with the new maps, we can do that, right? Right. Yeah. Okay. So, can we defeat this creature with the help of the dragon and the Mechadorans?
Is that you, Sassy, asking that in character?
Yeah.
And I'm responding with an image of weal or woe, right?
Yes.
Remind me how you're casting this spell. How would are you casting trinkets? You said you were shaking the statue.
Yeah, it does. No. So you need like gems or bones. So I'm using a little bit of screws and bits and bobs that are like leftovers of some experiments or some projects from Menare.
Great. The answer you receive, and I think this is interesting. This is the first time that Sassy has tried to communicate with God ever, or at least, Sassy as Sassy is now. First time they've tried to do anything like this. And I think... Roll me a religion check.
Religion. Oh, nice. 20. No, sorry. Natural 2023.
Incredible. What you feel is a little spark of dark, chaotic rage that could have come to you, but you called up someone else instead. And that little spark is furious about it. But then you feel a wave of calm, and you don't hear. It's not like your auditory processing unit hears this, but you experience it. Just a voice saying, and this is specifically in answer to the question, can we defeat the dragon? Can we defeat the creature with the dragon and the Megadoros? You get the answer. You have everything you need, little one.
Sorry.
You have everything you need, little one.
Okay. Thank you, voice in my head. That is not Ali. It's a saloon. I hope Menari is fine. If they are not, please take care of them as well. Bye. So that happened really quickly, and then so that was sending his third level. Second, third level. Give me a second. I'm gonna use sending. Just let me see my... Just 25. Almighty Ashnon Caro, I know you from the past. We need your help. You come from the Underdark. We are on our way.
24. You got one more word if you want it.
Kisses.
Who is this? How are you in my head?
I will not use my third level to respond. What I said, curiosity, use your charming again, okay? This is on you.
For myself and Dree, we're going to switch responsibilities.
I am happy to start doing some more distraction and performancing.
You got this. I'm really interested in what's growing in there.
The blue
Plus, I
flowers
need to
are
find
very interesting.
Oh, I don't have my helmet. Oh, I don't have the mushroom. I need... Right, yeah. Well, I've got a lot of responsibilities to do.
Yes, but wait. Hold this, stop. We know that we have 28 minutes. Let's try to get as much information we have before we jump to the battle. I've been told that we have everything we need to defeat this creature. What we don't have is information to move on, right? So I propose divide and conquer. Dree, you might want to go to talk to the dragon and try to get more information. Try to get the item, maybe. Tinker, I feel like you have unfinished business with Megadoris.
Quite possibly. I could also use identify on the rod.
Good. Curiosity, what do you want to investigate?
Well, I feel like I could go get the mandolin, go down into the into Tusk's office with Tinker, or to where the Megadoris is, and then come up with Tinker. How many people do we need to operate Megadoris? Is it a minimum? Is it a minimum of 4, or does it have to be?
That's what you've gathered.
Yeah. So on our way, myself and Tinker will grab DR01 and 04 and 024 on our way, grab them. I get the mandolin, go down. Tinker gets the armor, then we 4 bring the Megadoris up, and on our way we get the singing mushroom, the rose, because they're obviously super important, especially the singing mushroom, and then we meet you there and we get ready to smash shit.
It seems that we've got quite a lot of time loops or time warps that we can go through again and again and again and again. Why don't we spend this one gathering the items that seem to be attuned to each of us in particular, to see how long that takes. Then we can see how long it takes for us to get the Doris powered up with the other Dorises in another loop, and then in another loop after that we could do some investigating into the rod thing, and then we can sort of put all of our times together and get everything tip top and all that shape stuff.
What I'm hearing here is that you want a montage.
Speed run.
Yeah, I think so. So if we could have some montage music, please, kobolds. So I think you're able to go around. I want you to let's focus on the first thing that you said is that you wanted to see how long it would take for you to pick up all the stuff and all of your items. You find out that it's perfectly doable to get them all. Like, if you split off individually, you now know the back routes. You can go and get your individual items and kind of reconvene at the Arboretum. You might have to like wait. There's like some moments where like maybe you're sort of waiting in time for the little shadow mimics to go by, and then you run out and grab the stuff, and then you're hiding back in the tunnels again. But yeah, you find that you've got plenty of time to do that. The next thing you wanted to do was experiment with the Megadrone, the Megadoris. I think make me Tinker, make me an investigation check.
Investigation is one of my good ones. That is a 21.
21, great. Yeah, you figure that you can use one of the other Doris units to help you out, but it's not like they're great, but they've not been networked in the weird magical way that you've been networked. So you can hook them up, and they'll sort of dutifully be a leg or something like that. But you would have to tell them do that action, and it might not be as effective as if you 4 do it. So I feel like you can do it all on your own, or you can bring one of them along for the ride with you. You had a question, Ali, and then Evie.
How about casting animate that?
Well, animate objects on the Megadoris.
No, animate that on one
animate
Doris.
dead. They're not technically dead.
So it needs to be a creature.
Construct. Evie is looking very excited.
Would they count as an object?
Construct.
Is technically many objects.
Aha. Is this for animate object?
This is for animating performance, where I can make an item dance and do what I want it to.
I mean, I love that. I wonder if there's a part of Dree that is excited to do that, and I wonder if there's a part of Dree that is slightly conflicted because you too have been animated by a more powerful force and told to do things that you had no say over. I'm just going to leave that with you.
Way to take the fun out of a dancing item.
Could I spend one of the loops trying to, and possibly failing at networking those two Dorises? See if I can get them to join our network.
Interesting. So, the Megadoris has a network spell
That's what I was looking
attached
at.
to it. So, that doesn't work in the same way as like they are not part of your shared four network on the same level. It's kind of like a hierarchy thing of they've been given moderator permissions but not administrator permissions within the network, if that makes sense. I'd say this works for the ones that are still functional. So it will work for DR04 and it will work for DEM024. And they sort of, when they network with you in this way, there's a little moment where you see a little spark of that freedom and that autonomy that you have. It's not to the same level. They will definitely follow a command if you give it to them and just like, yep, that sounds like a great idea. But it feels like if you were going to tell them something that would harm them, they would have the right to say no, which is something that they didn't have before, or they wouldn't have before. They didn't have the cognition to go, that will lead me to falling off a railing and damaging myself permanently. I shouldn't do that. Before they couldn't do that. Now, if you told them to jump off a cliff, they'd go, I think I'll stay here. So that's the feeling you get from networking them, that they will work with you willingly.
But no way to give them the same sort of freedom as us.
Not fully. Still early days.
Yeah.
You wanted to use one of your loops for investigation? Yeah?
Yes. I want to go to the Dr. Deroni office.
Mm.
And one of the loops I want to tease incorrect, sending a message.
Great.
You are incorrect.
No, you.
Not you.
Where is this coming from? You will be stopped, but you are not my primary directive right now.
So going to Dr. Deroni's office, I'm gonna cast
investigation check. Oh.
locate object.
And you're looking.
And I'm gonna describe, or I'm gonna say, Lume it rate, right?
Right. It pings in Ashnon Caro's.
Apostrophe manual.
Right. Okay. I think what you find, again, I'll maybe lean in on this. You don't strictly find a manual. You find a working notebook of and it's sort of hidden in a drawer that's locked that you have to sort of get someone to maybe curiosity lock picks it, or you just kind of bust it open yourself. One of you has a crowbar somewhere. And you find this this journal of how Dr. Deroni has been working with this sort of magic, and a couple of things ping out at you. Is that she mentions a safety precaution if something goes wrong and she dies and is therefore unable to turn it off. It will automatically reset itself. It will reset the world back to the last autosave when it felt safe.
When the item felt safe.
Yeah.
So it's a sentient item.
She's not described like any discussions with the item, but it feels like there's more going on there than just a regular magic item.
Right. And the Nexus central chamber is just underneath this lab, or where could it be?
It's next to. You'd have to kind of like come around the corridor and in. Or there actually no. From last time, there is a underground passage from the office in there. Before you crack on with that, the other thing that you find in her journals is that she's got frustrated. She's got to the end of her research with it, as far as she feels, in that she's realized it works. The Luma Idraith, it works. I know it will work. However, bitter irony of all inventors, I'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will reset as well. So until I can find some way to circumnavigate that little flaw in the situation, as brilliant as this is, it is useless to us all. I will continue my investigations when I'm done with this God's forsaken Nexomancer.
Nice. Sitting in that office, I will take my ritual thingies. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes to cast clairvoyance to the other side. So I don't want to go in the room. I want to see the room through clairvoyance.
Great. We'll come back to that. I think.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes, so. Yeah.
Sure. On these various loops where you're investigating things, I think there's going to be a point at which you probably cover the rest of the building as well. Now, there's nothing mechanically for you to find there, but I think I wanted to make sure that we included curiosity at some point. In one of the loops, you'll probably head up to the top floor of the facility. It's a place you've not been together as a group, but it's worth checking because that's where security was, to see if there are any useful weapons there. On your way to the security suite, you will find a large Loxodon body that looks like it had a really bad time with a puddle of acid. This is Lauder. You recognize. The security office will have a bunch of weapons that have been rusted away. And Sassy, I think at some point, investigating all of the secret passages between the levels, you knew from the start Minari had escaped through one of the ventilation shafts in engineering mid-level. On your way through that, between top floor engineering and lower floor engineering, you will find a blue Simic hybrid with short tentacles reaching towards a grate, as if they nearly got away. But there's not a whole lot left of their lower half. They clearly didn't quite get there. Something that I would like to go around, I think, is as you are having this montage, what I want us to intersperse in this montage is a memory, and I want each of you to do it. This has nothing to do with me. About your relationship with the person that you worked with. Obviously, it's complex because on the one hand, they gave you instructions and you were compelled to follow them, but they weren't necessarily doing it in a spiteful, manipulative way. They didn't realize that you were more than just a program that followed orders. So I wonder, I'm going to pick on Josh to go first, if that's all right, just because you're first on my screen. I wonder if you could narrate for me a little memory of a time Tusk confessed something to you, thinking that you were not sapient and it would be okay, but it was one of his secrets or something.
Okay, so in Tusk's office, there is a a bookshelf, and the bookshelf has a little book on it that you pull down, and it opens up into a secret area. It's not a very, very large area, but it is a lot messier than Tusk's actual office. It's got lots of wood shavings and metal shavings, and there's drawings and everything all over the place. This is Tusk's tinker room, as he likes to call it. And the memory that Tinker would have would be primarily being in that room. Whenever Tinker wasn't on their docking station, they were in this room, either scanning and filing away the various different designs that Tusk has come up with, or sweeping up with Tot the shavings on the floor. In this particular instance, they're in there, and Tusk is drawing away at some blueprints. And I will move over. I would have moved over to them, and I will see that Tusk has got some blueprints of some design, something designed by one of the other doctors, or professors, or scientists within the facility, and he is trying to replicate their design while also improving on it and putting his name solely on it. And you can see that I can see that there's a look of shame on his face, but also a look of desperation, as if he needs to get something off of the ground for investors or something, maybe. I don't know. That's way above my head. I'm just an automaton.
I'm going to yes and that memory to say that the thing that he's working on is the Luma Idraith, but he has no clue whatsoever how it works, and it's frustrating him no end. And he would never confess to anyone else that he couldn't do it. But you hear him say, "By the gods, I don't know what it is that she's doing in there, but she's a genius and I hate it. I could never do this on my own. I'm gonna have to get it off her at some point. Really take it apart and figure out how it works." Cool. Mike, are you alright if I come to you next? Great. So, Curiosity, I would like you to narrate for me a memory of when Lauder instructed you about plants.
So it's like classic one. Lauder's going through, and they sort of, compared to a lot of it isn't like they always wanted to start Curiosity off. So Curiosity would start the shift as such, I guess, or begin the day with Lauder already like set out all the watering cans and the correct feeds for everything, and then they would like pass. They'd be like, okay, so you need to be going to this place, and if you have time, like the way they taught to him was always like, if you've got time, will you just pop round and just have a little checky poo on whatever's going with that little plant? We've just planted that one, so you just give it an extra check today. And then it'd be almost like a parental figure giving you your lunch bag and a bottle of water in the morning before you go off for the day, and then like give him his watering can, give him a set of secateurs, maybe some fertilizer, and like give him a little tap on the top of the head and send him on his way in the morning.
I love the phrasing. I'm just imagining it like this huge Loxodon in obviously canonically now an Aussie accent, just being like, "All right, just go over there and give it a little checky poo, will you?" That's great. I love it. Lovely. Evie, can I come to you next? Is that all right? I would like you to narrate for me a little memory of Dree has been playing music in the mess hall, but it's been an experiment of your choice, and you're coming back to Dr. Bindell to report on how it went.
So Dree kind of almost slinks into the room. Little bits of food are on them, and Hannah's bent is just kind of there. It's like, I played the songs. Tusk has now banned 4 of the songs that I played. I don't think they liked it very much. apparently there were some members of staff that did not know this was built on sacred ground, and these are secrets. And I feel like Dr. Bindell is kind of like cleaning Dree off and just being like, oh, band songs, that's pretty cool though. Yeah, we can make some more in here, and then we just start expanding them, but it's very much like it's our secret now, and we know that there are not everyone is as cool as we are.
Mm-hmm. I'll remind you as well that when you entered the room, you had to go through the ritual of the magic-mouthed fish singing the Wellerman at you, and you also singing in response. Amazing. Yeah. And the final one, Ali, is it okay if I come to you now? Good. So I would like you to narrate a memory of a time that even in your automated, non-awakened state, Sassy helped Minari on a project and was sassy about it. Like maybe one of the things that they said, or when did you make Minari laugh?
So Minari is a very quiet and introvert person. But they like to have their wine time with a friend. And probably previous night they went not a little bit over, but they got tipsy, and today they are a little bit tired and, if not making mistakes, just a little bit hesitant at the job where they are actually very proficient. So Sassy is just holding up a couple of pieces in place for Minari to do the solding in. Probably like they are repairing a very basic equipment that they use quite often, but because they use it quite often, it got a malfunctioning. So they're just giving service. And as Sassy is holding up, Minari makes like a mistake or something. And Sassy goes, "Oh, but last night was a fun night, right?" And Minari just starts laughing and push Sassy away, just like giving the arm, just like, "Oh, shut up." But it was quite instinctive, so like it were like a humanoid or someone like sentient. And then Minari goes back and says like, "Excuse me," and then Sassy goes back to this robotic voice and just addresses the situation in a more methodical way and says, "Maybe you should get hydrated, please, and then come back to your activities." And yeah, it's just that.
Nice. Cute. So with that, we'll come back to the clairvoyancy spell. So you're just looking to see what's inside the central nexus hub chamber. I mean, it's in exactly the same state as it was left in the last game. So there is a platform in the center that looked like it was set up to have a focus. Because that focus was a giant grub that I don't think anyone took, but it's been a while, so that's completely disintegrated. So you don't know there was a giant grub there. There's nothing there. Nothing to see here. So it looks like there's a little like area to put a focus in below, and then there's like a slot for another device to be inserted. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You've seen enough of Dr. Durrani's research from being networked with Dree and everyone else who was looking around here. You know it was not built to house the Luma Adraith. It was built to house probably the Nexomancer everyone keeps going on about that, you know, has been taken away. There is the room has been scarred by what looks like I don't know, it's some like great magical energy attacks, but there's nothing else going on in there right now. It looks empty. Is there anything particular that you were looking for or hoping for? You're unmute.
Kind of like an exit. I don't know. I mean, like, I think at this point, Sassy knows that they have to face this creature or construct. But then what question comes to their mind? So was expecting some sort of indication of exit or some information to what are we gonna do once we defeat this thing, because it seems like we are going through a lot of trouble for something that is still unknown to all of us. I think we all have this feeling that is survival and grief and all these emotions. But yeah, the what's next is unknown. Are we going up? Are we getting out? Are we calling Swift Caroline? Are we? Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah. I don't think you get the feeling that the Central Nexus hub chamber would offer you a way out. I think I'll give you, again, you could do enough loops to learn that was what that room was for, and then Nexomancer did work and did open up portals to another plane, and it went horribly wrong. But that device is no longer there. So you don't have that. You do know that there is a lift in Tusk's office that leads to the outside. You didn't experience it yourself, but curiosity showed you the equivalent of mental photographs of that moment that he experienced. So you know that you could get out that way afterwards. Evie?
I have a question that I'd like clarification from, probably from Durrani's notes. Which is all of time being reset, or is it just in a bubble?
She herself is not truly sure of how far it would reach, but she believes that it should be everything.
Which means?
But curiosity went outside and was still pulled back in. So you know it at least extends to the outside the Nexus facility.
There is a possibility then that Eziran is out there and has been having a hell of a time with their day just repeating wherever they ended up. So I'm just going to put that one out there, that we might want to find Eziran if it has gone on to them. Who would probably know about this device, actually. Sorry, just interesting thoughts.
Very interesting thoughts.
Could I do two things?
Yeah.
It would be two different loops worth of things. The first is, at some point, DR01 was connected to our network. Can I access the memories that DR01 had in the network before they were disconnected?
It was a super short period of time, and you were all slightly overloaded by the experience, which is why you only responded by repeating Eziran's name and not realizing that was a thing until you were woken up by this reset. I will give you that for free. What was your other thing?
The other thing was on one of the resets, I'm going to cast heroism on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick up my dagger, my club. I'm going to take Curiosity's bucket before Curiosity can get it, stick it on my head. I'm going to walk into the middle of the Great Hall, and I'm going to stand there and wait for the incorrect to come down. I'm just going to look at it, and as it comes in, I'm going to, and like it says, "You are incorrect" to me, I'm going to talk to it and say, "I'd like to know more about the Luma Idrath, please. What do you know about it?"
Interesting. That is none of your concern. You are incorrect. It will attack you just as it did before. You have a slight more advantage now because you are built up a bit more. if no one else is there with you, it will destroy you again, that loop. But if that is your intention, just as an exploration rather than a this is our stand, then that's the way it's going to
Yeah,
go.
I just wanted to try and quiz it, that was all.
It will sort of rebuff you. I'm aware of time, and we kind of need to take a break soon. Yes, Ali, go on.
In one of those loops, when I recharge my spell slots, I'm gonna send a message.
Uh-huh.
DR01. Are you there?
Interesting. Message, or do you mean sending?
Sending.
Sending. There is an anti-magic field surrounding the Nexus Arts facility, which canonically stops people from scrying in. I think it's the kind of thing where you realize as you send it, it's also blocking communication
To the outside.
To the outside.
Ah.
And you get from like another loop, this is something that Tusk absolutely set up because of his paranoia and not wanting secrets to get out.
You could go up the lift and do it.
Yes. I can actually, now that I'm level 6, fly. For 1 minute. So I will try to go out.
Great. You all have the same wondrous moment of seeing the outside, the mountains, the trees, the grass, and the sky, that huge sky above you. It's not stars, it's not got nebulas and moons and suns, but because it's daytime, it might do at night. But it is huge and it feels right to you all. What do you say with your sending spell?
PR01, it's me. DEM 24221. I go by Sassy now. Are you okay? Are you there?
You don't get a response.
There is a little bit of a unsettled vibe. I'm gonna use another sending. Swift Caroline, are you there? It's me. It's us. We are lost, kind of thing. We're somewhere. Come, please.
Could you roll me a D100?
While Sassy is doing that, with the sending spell to DR01, is it like a WhatsApp message where it pops up that somebody's read it but they just haven't replied, or is it like there is nothing there to connect to?
It's like, okay, so a WhatsApp, you get one tick when it's been sent but not received, or like it can connect but it's not quite connected properly, and then 2 ticks when it's been sent but not read, and then blue ticks when it's been sent and read and not replied to. I think you get the 2 ticks, so you know that there is a unit out there that has received it but has not read it.
The other question would be, who has DR01? Because I remember it was a Nexus thing. I can't remember because Garnot walked off with a core piece of the memory core of a Doris, and I know that Augury and I'm sorry, Evie, I can't remember what your character's name was.
Ingress.
There we go. I know they walked off with both the Necro thing and a piece of Adoris as well.
I mean, Tinker doesn't know anything.
Tinker doesn't. It's just more for Josh's curiosity. Because if Garnot's got DR01, that's something I need to remember.
It's not Garnet. It's
Okay,
not Garnet. What did you roll on your D100?
39.
39. With a 39, you cast sending to try and contact Swift Caroline. You get the response. Ba ba ba. But that's it. There's a small part of you that's like, Swift Caroline was barely sentient.
Yeah.
That actually leads on to something that I wanted to do, which was scour the records in the office for the wreckage of Swift Caroline. Ba ba ba.
I'll give you a bit. Again, we're at the point where you can do so many loops that it kind of doesn't matter what you roll because you can just keep going back. So I'm going to say that you don't find any mention of a ship. But I'll bring you back to that memory that Tinker had of Tusk burning receipts.
Bloody Tusk.
I know, right?
Always Tusk.
Right. In the interest of time, because this has run on much longer than I intended for this first half, are you now ready, confident that you are ready to go and tool up to speak to Incorrect?
Yes. I have a feeling that Megadoris is Swift Caroline. That's my last point I'm going to say.
What is the plan of attack here? What are you all gonna like get in the Megadoris and trunk your way into the Great Hall, or are you gonna? I'm gonna say that you can get Ashnon Caro on side. You've found like the secret words to get her to be like, okay, what do you need me to do? But where are you holding fort? What is the image here as you're bracing yourself?
I think in personal opinion, in the Arboretum, because of the fact that there's plants there that could also attack it. But that's just my 2 cents. Oh, also, the Dorises in the Horde, are they active or are they inactive?
They're currently inactive, but they look intact.
So we could use the network to bring them back.
Could be. I put them there for that reason.
I might have to try that.
Are you all gonna be in it to start with, or are you gonna bring it up and get into it later? It does cost you a bonus action to transform.
I'll be in it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think potentially I might get in it later on, as I've got a couple of like control things I wouldn't mind trying to do. It's most likely going to be immune to them, but it could be worth a try.
You can use all of your spells and abilities that don't require you moving around from within the Megadoris. So I don't know if that changes things.
My slot is a one and done, so I'm gonna try and get myself make a dancing item to also help with the thing and kind of do things around and then get in when it's time to fire the shot.
I will remind you that it also has hit points.
So we don't get squished to death.
But
It
if
can
you
be
want to be
chill.
outside, that's fine. All right. So, Sassy, you in the Megadoris or out? In the Megadoris. So we've looped, we've montaged. We now find ourselves in a scene where we have the Megadoris standing. Well, I guess kind of it's a ball, right? Because we've not got any. We've got one leg ready.
Oh, I'm in. I'm gonna get in now.
Are you gonna get in?
And
Okay.
then technically, can we fill up the other bits with the other Dorises for now?
Yeah.
You can tag them out. It stands there, ready, waiting. Ashnon will be hiding in the foliage, ready to surprise as before. You've acquired all of your items. Please make sure they're in your character sheets. You have rallied the currently awake other Dorises that you found. As the creature comes down the lift shaft, jong, 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 you hear it burn its way through. That's a good point. the Megadoris shell will not fit through the hole, so it will have to be in the Great Hall rather than in the Arboretum itself. Is that all right by everyone?
Give me a second. Give me a second.
I have the ability to prepare, enlarge, reduce.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay,
So.
you can do that then. You're in the Arboretum. You've managed to shrink it and de-shrink it. It's you're in the Arboretum. You see the foliage burn in a circular shape and disintegrate, and this large centipede construct comes in, starts scanning, but immediately sees you all. It is you. I recognize you. And that is how we're going to take our break. Catch you shortly, team. Welcome back, everyone, to Nexus Revolutions. And we are potentially about to have a revolution against the powers that come and stomp on things. Or maybe try and figure out what's happening. One thing I realized I forgot to do before the break. I'm not Sean, so there's not been puns everywhere in this campaign, but Ashnon Caro is an anagram. So I'm going to leave that with the audience while we do this, and maybe when it's not your turn, players, have a little think. Caro is spelt with 2 R's. ASHNONCIACARRO. Yeah. But you're all set up in the Arboretum, in your Megadoris formation, apart from Dree, who is strategically outside for now. Ashton and Caro hanging from the ceiling. The centipede creature has come in, looked at you, and said, I know you. You are the leaders of the next army. You must be stopped. Could we all roll initiative, please?
Nice. I know we did a lot of loops in the first half. I'd just like to say that those loops were probably doubled because in between each loop we probably had a dance party.
Sure, of course. That makes sense. I mean, you've got to go the full Groundhog Day and do the loop where you get absolutely wasted, the loop where you try and steal all the things, the loop where you try murder, see if it's your thing. No, shouldn't do that.
There is a loop where one of us went like crazy maniac and assassinated the other.
Oh no, just to see how that felt, and it felt terrible, team. It didn't feel right.
There was a loop where I had multiple arms. It felt really weird.
I put more arms on you, yes.
Great. Shout out your numbers, please. Josh.
16.
A 16 for Tinker.
12.
12 for Dree.
7, because the cleric always goes last.
Cleric's got a cleric. I feel your pain. And Curiosity?
18.
Oh, a speedy ranger to start. Okay. I've made some assumptions in what I've put in my initiative tracker. I have included the campestry, just in case. I'm going to assume that you're keeping it safe under your bucket hat, though, Curiosity. Okay, cool. It's kind of, if Dree is making any sort of music in this situation, it is singing along with it. I want us to just remember that important fact.
Well, as difficult as it would be for Curiosity, if it should be with Dree, because that's where it belongs, then I will gift it over.
I mean, it's having a lovely time with any of you. It's just a very smiley...
It just needs to hit those sweet, sweet harmonies.
Right?
I need it for the high notes.
Yeah. Anything that particularly dramatic that happens, it adds a bit of like a hair metal wail to it. Like,
You know those little in Little Shop of Horrors where the little ones come out with the
yes. Yeah.
I imagine it just kind of pops off the shoulder and just does the little ones just occasionally.
Perfect. Yeah. Ideal. Curiosity, it is your turn to go first.
So we're happy with the position we're in, waiting, I guess. So, I guess. Can I hold ensnaring strike? I want to try and see if I can trap it in one place when it appears.
It's already appeared. It's in
Oh,
front
is it
of
here?
you.
Sorry, I thought we
it
were
is here.
like
It is in
waiting.
front of you. It is 30 feet away, and it has challenged you. It
Okay.
has said, I recognize you. You are the leaders of the next army. You must be stopped.
Okay. I'm gonna try to slam it with the ensnaring strike.
Great.
So I'm inside of its legs. Does that mean I can't do my normal range attacks from
You
inside of its legs?
can, because I mean, spell attack is quite easy because you're just kind of stood there as part of the leg. You've got your hands free, so you can cast spells. You can shoot a bow. It's just that your movement is restricted to you are in the Megadoros, but obviously you can move the Megadoros, but everyone else is attached to that.
Okay. Context acquired from my brain that wasn't following.
Sure.
I will shoot, and then would, for anybody else who wants to smash, grab, bosh, or therefore otherwise like me to take the Megadoris straight into a kaiju battle and get us like stuck in. Yeah.
I think there's enthusiasm for that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to slam it and get it restrained. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't work too much. Where is my... See, because we're being used in a different character sheet, I can't seem to use D&D Beyond.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
There it is. Okay. Oh, okay, a 27 to hit.
Oh, nice. That will hit.
Okay, so I'll do my standy damage, which is 10 piercing damage.
Great.
If that is important. And then I need you to make me a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, it will do that, probably. Depends what the DC is.
Not great. But...
Oh no, I used digital dice and I forgot I had the one with the fancy effects and it's crashing. Haha! I did roll a natural 1 for a 5 though.
It is restrained until... by the magical vines until the spell ends. And it takes an extra d6 on the start of each of its turns.
Amazing. You'll have to remind me about that d6. Restrained, it can't move, and it has to fight its way out before it can do any attacks or anything like that?
Yeah, and I believe, like, I think it's like certain saving throws are at disadvantage. If I remember, I feel like we had this last time, but...
Please remind my brain. I don't play Rangers very often.
No, let's do restrained.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's restrained, and then I will begin a kaiju battle and begin marching towards it while it is getting slowly. And the stuff that's restraining it it's almost like Josh said, the arboretum's like almost coming to life to our aid a little bit. Whether everything does, I don't know, but in this context, the vines almost taking revenge from it blowing the hole through it.
Incredible.
And they're just beginning to wrap around like all of its many legs and pinning it to the floor.
Lovely. You're not using traditional arrows because bows and arrows aren't strictly available to you, but you've been able to, as we previously discussed, there is plenty of stuff in engineering that Tinker was able to put together, and you were able to take weapons off some corpses and that kind of thing. So what is it that you're using as a projectile weapon in this case?
I imagine it's like a mixture between nature and mechanical. So I've gone and like picked off loads of thorns and stuff off vines, and then I've asked Sassy to basically like mount them on sort of like iron rod pieces for like induction machine, stuff like that, like long rods, then just like sticking the thorns onto them. So it's like a mixture of like two things put together
Great.
to create
Amazing.
these little bolts.
Lovely. Tinker, we're going to come to you next, and Dree, you'll be after this.
From memory, I'm in the torso section of the.
So your little rolly ball is in the central divot of the shell, and you are sort of in the other leg, allowing your body to be manipulated by curiosity so you can walk, but your sort of processing core is sort of in your little rolly ball, helping control the main body of it.
Did you say that we're able to access other panels while we're in the socket that we're in, so I could activate something else while I'm where I am?
If you're in the I think once you're socketed and all four of you are in there, that's you've got your own thing, and everything else is someone else's.
So what I'd like to do is use the network spell to activate up to 4 targets. Activate four of the English. Sorry, I can't speak Doris very well. Activate 4 of the Dorises and get them to come and assist us with holding the vines and help with restraining the creature.
Great. So, these are the unnetworked Doris units that were in Ashnan Caro's horde. And as you cast this spell, it's got a 60-foot radius, so they're just on the edge of it behind you. But you do ping them, and it is sort of a little bit like as if they were zombified, kind of standing up to start with, but then they sort of wake up as if they were in like low power mode and they'd not quite realized what was going on, and then they suddenly feel like we described before, you've awoken them in a way that they weren't before, in the same way that you've been awoken. They just don't necessarily have the cognitive power to do what you can do, but you've now given the option to help, and they're all willing. So these Doris units have a speed of 30 foot. So if your instructions are, you can give them a little simple phrase. If your instructions are to help, they will spend their turn dashing to get in here. But that will be everything they can do this turn.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah, we'll do that.
Right. You now have a little army on our way, ready to help you. Great.
Awesome.
Is that everything?
For me, yes.
Great. It's now the Campestry's turn. It's gonna ramp up the battle music. And now we're gonna go to Dree. In fact, the Campestry's gonna hold its turn to see what Dree's gonna do.
First, there was something that I wanted to prep for the battle that I didn't get around to saying. I don't know if I can say it now. Because I mentioned about dancing item.
Yes.
Of animate object.
Yes.
Ideally, what I would like to animate is the statue of Tusk riding a shark.
That is very large and on the floor above you. But who am I to say no to this image?
Oh, yeah.
So, wait, do you have access to the animate object spell?
No, I am a College of Creation bard, and one of my things is animating performance.
Yes, it is. Describe it for me. Let's make sure this is fair.
Describe the dancing tusk shark.
The rules. The rules.
Okay. As an action, you can animate one large or smaller non-magical item within 30 feet of you that isn't being worn or carried. The animate item uses the dancing item stat block and uses my proficiency bonus. The item is friendly to me and my companions and obeys my command. It lives for 1 hour or until it is reduced to 0 hit points or I die.
I mean, all of that sounds within parameters. So yes, you have. How does this fountain statue dance?
Well, see, the interesting thing about the dancing item is that it can hover
Great.
in the air. So it's just kind of there, like Tusk's arms are going like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, got a little boogie and a little bit of a dad dance going on, while the shark just kind of goes like that and rotating up and down in the air, kind of like in an amusement park.
Incredible. Amazing. And what is it doing? Or are we just enjoying this moment for your entire turn?
Okay, so it's just dancing there for the moment. It shares my initiative, so I'll do my thing, and then Gregarious will do his thing.
Okay.
And I was gonna wait to use the big harmonics ray for like a big ending battle thing, but it's tied down. It seems as good a time as any, right? So I may as well give it a whack.
Go for it.
Cool. So that is. Can it please make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw, please?
Great. So to be clear, to use this ray, you need to merge. So you spent your bonus action kicking the spare Doris out and getting into the head position, yeah?
Yep, completely needlessly.
Great.
Could have done this already. Sorry, Doris.
It has disadvantage.
It does have disadvantage. Let me just bring up its stats. What? Pretty well. Dex, you say?
Yes.
With disadvantage, that is a 17.
Silvery Bobs.
All right.
Wait, can I use a reaction on my turn?
Yeah.
Yes, it just means you don't have a reaction now until your next turn.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Do I just roll the reroll? Yeah, I'll re-roll both with disadvantage because sense. I rolled one less on both dice. So before I rolled a 16 and a 17, and now I've rolled a 16 and 18, and now I've rolled a 15 and a 17. So that 15 at disadvantage takes it to 16 total.
Yeah. And who's next in the initiative tracker, by the way?
It is gonna be all of the. Oh, it's gonna be all of the unnetworked Dorises. So they are gonna. It's gonna be them running forwards, and then after that, it's going to be Ashnon.
Can I give Ashnon the advantage?
You can do. Sorry, it will be Sassy after that if you want to give it to one of your team.
I'll give it to Ashnon. I'll give it to the dragon. They deserve
Yeah.
it.
Sure, she's worked hard.
Yeah. She's part of the team now, even if she's only been aware of it for 15 minutes.
She is. Obviously, she is the leader of the team as far as she is concerned.
Okay, I'm just getting the 10d6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, and then I'll roll them again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 plus 20.
Mm-hmm. So 53.
53. 53 of your best sound damage, please.
Amazing. Please describe what this looks like now that you, in tune with the harmonics, know exactly how this works and know how to just push it right and get it all tweaked right.
So the air kind of hovers as it kind of charges up, and Dree pushes the button, then kind of plucks a couple strings to make it extra discordant. And do you know what the Deus Irae sounds like?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, it's this combination of notes that to medieval ears was the sound of hell itself. We're much more accustomed to it now, living in a very hellish society. But back then, it was the satanic noise. And that is the sound that emanates in a pure ray towards this creature.
Incredible. As this ray hits it, the creature does shriek out loud. No. The directive. Ah. Great. All of the... Is anything else on your turn?
It is now Tusk's turn.
Yes.
And Tusk is going to... Well, normally it would be anything in the vicinity of my dancing item would have increase speed or decrease speed as I saw fit. But it's not really relevant right now. So Tusk, riding the shark, is just going to do a force-empowered slam.
Nice. How does that work?
Okay, so it's a melee weapon attack with my spell mod. That is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 to hit.
Will hit.
Excellent, and that's a D10 plus PB. What on earth does PB mean?
Your proficiency bonus, so 3.
Ah. Okay, let me just find a D10. There we go. Okay, that's 9, 10, 11, 12 force damage, please.
Amazing.
As Tusk dances his way. It's like a mosh pit right now.
I think you do notice, all of you, as you're seeing this creature take attacks. It is looking considerably damaged already. It doesn't look like it has easily repelled any of the damage you've done so far. Almost like its shell was built not expecting things to stand up to it in this way. Great. The unnetworked Dorises run in and are there, ready. Ashnon Kara's turn. She is going to dive down from the ceiling. Now, and she's going to come in with tooth and claw, and she's going to make a couple of attacks that way. These are going to be with advantage, I guess. 1 bite, 2 claw. Okay, so that will hit, and then she gets a natural 20 on a claw. All 3 of those are gonna hit. So that's gonna be. Can someone write numbers down for me, please? So she's going to do 12 piercing damage with her bite. Which is a bit weird, like biting into the metal, and you can see like the metal just sort of like creaks and groans, and she almost gets her maw stuck on it slightly because it doesn't give way in the way that flesh would, the way that she expects. And then the first claw attack does 8 slashing damage. She's sort of like trying to release her head from the construct. And then the second one, the second claw comes in for 6 slashing damage. Has someone been writing that down? What's that, Joe?
Yep, you're at 26.
Amazing. Well done, Ashnon. Great. She's now like, because the centipede creature is restrained by all of these vines, and she is staying on top of it, just sort of like flailing about. It's big enough that she can. I mean, she's also large. I mean, we've got like 3 large sort of beings here. This is like the kaiju battle has got 3 entities just kind of flailing and vines and roaring and big harmonics rays. 4, sorry. How could I forget, Tusk? I'm so sorry. I'm so this is
He's our secret weapon.
It's a mess, folks. We got a dragon, we got a centipede robot, we got a Megazord robot, and we've got a statue of a half-orc on a shark.
This is what happens when we're kept away from our character sheets.
Incredible. Sassy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that sass?
I feel... Has the creature attack? Not yet, right?
Not had its turn yet. It's not had a chance.
I feel like something is coming. So, as my action, I want to channel my divinity because I'm divine. I'm gonna use Twilight Sanctuary. So a 30-feet radius sphere, so quite big, of dim light starts excluding from me as I sort of some vents start like pouring gas But I feel it's more like what's it called? Dry ice sort of vibe, like club. Now that we had a few loops with party. And every creature that ends a turn in this gains some benefit. But at the end of my turn, I will get 9 temporary hit points. So that is my turn. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Nice.
So when I do it, yes, I'm gonna make a melee attack. So what I imagine is that what could be like a hammer, but a Doris-sized hammer appears behind this creature, and is gonna attack. It's restrained, right?
It is restrained.
So that is a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
For 10 plus 17 points of force damage. Force
Amazing.
damage, yeah.
Amazing. Great. It's looking not well.
And that's gonna be my turn. Thank you.
Great. With that, it is now the creature's turn. So it's going to take a little damage from your vines, right? 1 damage.
1 damage.
Hey, every little counts, you know.
One of my finest ones. To be fair, I forgot I had 2 attacks and all sorts, so I need to make up for it next round.
Okay, all right. Yeah, fair enough. It is looking not well. Can it try and get out of the vines at all, or is it literally just into?
I think it has to use its action, as far as I'm aware.
You know what?
An attack, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the magical vines until the spell ends.
Great. No, I've realized what it's going to do. So it will pull a little bit. Obviously, it's got a dragon on its back, so it is kind of also pulled back by that. Do not think that just because you have found your mega drone that I will be the end of this. And it's going to cast Dispel Magic. What does it need to roll?
It doesn't. It immediately.
Does it?
Yeah,
The
it'll
vines
immediately
fall away. It's now going to attack. Well, Ashnon's on its back, but you are the bigger threat. So it's going to come in, no longer at disadvantage, with 3 arm attacks. So for the Megadoris, can someone please keep an eye on? I believe the DC was 16. The AC, sorry.
AC 16. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. First attack will miss. I am rolling like. Oh, there we go. Thank God. The first 2 attacks, I think, because Ashnon is on the back, pulling it back, it sort of swings wildly and misses. And that 3rd attack will come in and plunge down into the central hub of the Megadoris's shell.
Unless
What was the
there is a silvery bars on the way.
Yeah.
Is there now? Okay, I'll roll again. So I rolled 16 on the dice before. I rolled even higher this time.
What does that take the total to, though?
And my advantage goes to curiosity.
Thank you.
So the grand total of that attack is 26.
Okay.
Sorry, no shield spell for you.
26 to hit, or was that the damage?
26 to hit.
Oh.
Okay. It's only got one hit in though. So that's going to be interesting. So this arm is going to plunge down into the actual chassis of the large sphere that you're all attached to. It's going to hit for 12 piercing damage. And no, because you are all small. The Megadoris canonically is therefore medium, not large. So you're on the large end of medium, but you're still technically a medium creature. So you are now grappled by this spear-like leg, which has plunged down into the spherical chassis. Just so you're aware, moving away is going to be difficult. That is the end of its turn. This is me realizing at this point that there's a couple of things I forgot it has. Anyway, never mind. If it comes up again, it'll have the things. So we go back to the top. Curiosity. It is your turn.
I'd like to try, use the sweep attack to just, blast it away from us.
Okay, cool.
See if we can try do that. So it's just my regular attack plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
21, 20, 24 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that will hit.
Awesome. And so it's although I will potentially accidentally sweep big the Dree's animated object as well, because it says and sweep everything in a 5-foot radius back 10 foot.
Yeah. And the little mini Dorises as well.
Oops. Oh, I did it now.
Done. It's done. Everything bounces back.
Is there any damage paired off with that, or is it just my weapon?
It's more of a battlefield control
Cool.
situation.
Does that take up my entire action, or would I get my second attack?
It's a you choose to do that, because it's if you attack, you get 2 attacks, or you choose to do that as your action. You
Yeah.
still have your bonus action though.
Awesome. I will bonus action. I mean, it worked once. It might, if we're lucky, work again. So I'm gonna prep and ensnare and strike as well, because it's just concentration until you hit. So then my next attack can just be straight off the mark if we need it. Do we want to move? Network brain? I've just shoved it 10 foot away.
As far away from the shiny rod thing as possible.
Shiny rod thing. What, keep trying to lead it away?
Yes, keep it away from it. If it tries to shoot at it, it will reset the entire timeline again.
Cool. I guess then if I've shoved it away, I'm not an attack of opportunity anymore, so we could just boogie on away from said rod.
Yeah, so the rod is still in Ashnon Kara's hoard, unless any of you have done anything with it. So to move further away, you'd be moving towards the entrance of the Arboretum. You won't get out into the main hall.
No.
It's bigger than that, but you'd be near the entrance to it.
Yeah. Start shuffling back and
Right.
teasing it.
Would the rod fit inside the torso of this thing?
Yeah.
would everybody be all right if it was in the torso of this thing? Just so if it did try to shoot it, it would have to go through us first?
Hasn't it already gotten its claws into the main area?
So the sweep attack that Curiosity did with the leg pushed the centipede creature back. Its claw has been released.
I think just we're asking for trouble keeping it inside of us, because if it does end up blasting and breaking through, then we've kind of like...
Yeah. Okay. I was just thinking, because if at any point it feels like it's not going to win the combat, it could just turn and fire at the thing to try and destroy it. He's smashing again, but it doesn't matter.
It's my turn.
That's the end of your turn? Cool. Okay. So next up is going to be Tinker.
Well, I think that's rather rude, you putting a hole in our nice lovely suit of armor here. How would you like it if your armor was all hot and burnt and, started to dysmorph and I cast heat metal on it? On its armor.
I would dislike that. It's already happening to me.
I'll have some more. I am casting it at 2nd level, which is the level that I think I have to cast at anyway. So it is going to take 5 points of fire damage, and it needs to make me a saving throw.
What kind of saving throw?
A Constitution saving throw, please.
Constitution saving throw, you say?
Yes.
Oh, no. There we go. That is going to be a 21.
It succeeds, but because it can't drop its armor, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of my next turn.
Nice. Impressive.
Not to beat a dead horse, but is it now so warm that the dragon may want to retire? Just throwing it out.
Probably, yes. Yes, Ashnon is not happy about this situation. What are you doing? I thought we were on the same side. This hurts. Does it do any damage? It doesn't do any damage to it.
Not to Ashnon. It won't. It'll only do the damage to the creature on each of my turns as a bonus action until I lose concentration.
Okay, cool. And are you doing that?
I could every turn afterwards. So
right.
I've done that now. And then my bonus action, I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, cool. Where the Campestri continues to sing. It's getting very operatic now. Sorry, say that again, Evie?
It continues to be beautiful.
Yeah, great. Dree, this thing is like looking so weak.
Okay. So I don't actually have anything that can do proper damage. I've realized. I don't play bards very often, and this is so I have 2 ideas, but if it looks weak, there's probably no point in leading it away from the Arboretum if it's going to go down pretty soon, right? Says to the group chat.
Better to be safe than sorry, would it not?
Okay, so I'm going to do something a little bit probably dumb, but I'm going to use my action to create a cheap replica of the Lume
Lume-Adraith.
The Lume-Adraith. Like a plastic little replica that looks similar to it.
And you're going to invent plastic at the same time?
Yeah. That's creation, baby.
Incredible. And what are you doing with this?
And I'm going to say, hey, look at this. It's the Lume-Adraith. If you want it, go and get it. And throw it to the other side of the room.
Is there a DC to notice this thing is magically created? What?
That's a good question. I'll do it. No, it doesn't say. Not that I can see.
Okay, cool. So that thing looks like the Lume-Adraith. Flies off. It's a little bit distracted right now because it's still got a dragon on its back, and the dragon is unhappy about being on its back. and it's sort of writhing around a little bit. That was action. Do you have any bonus action things?
Yes, I realized that I didn't see before, and in order for Gregoria's task riding a shark to be able to attack or do an action, I have to use my bonus action to make that happen, otherwise it just dodges.
Sure.
So I will use said action to do another slam attack.
Yeah, great. Please go ahead.
Okay. Ooh, that was a nat 20.
Yay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Do that. Roll that slam attack damage.
Oh, yeah. Okay, where's that D10? Ooh, it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 slamming damage, please.
Great.
From the boogieing shark.
This shark boogies over. I mean, it's had to move. It does have a 30-foot. Oh no, because you made it. You made it move 10 feet, right? And then you started running towards the entrance, so it's still kind of where it was before. So the shark shimmies over and does a big slam attack into it. The outer casing of this creature shatters and breaks and falls apart. And the under layer of it, you can now see wires and connections and electricity. Like you can see it running up and down the centipede form, and the legs all start to spark as it looks at you. Directive, directive, directive. And it's going to rise up and stand a little taller than it was before. And it's going to take its mythic form.
Ooh.
And it's going to take a mythic action.
No.
2 of its many, many legs are going to separate from its torso. It's still attached by wires, and it's going to start flailing them around like they are some kind of nunchucky chains. And it's going to whiz them around too. Now it's got the Megadoris is canonically 20 feet away from it at the moment. But it's got Ashen and Kara on its back. It's got the statue right in front of it. It's going to spin around very fast to attack everything.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
It's just something that I should have been telling everybody at the end of the turns. Who has had their turns? So top of the round is Curiosity, right?
Yeah, so everyone has
then
had their turn apart from the unnetworked Dorises are about to go, and
Okay.
then Ashnon will be after that, and you will be after that. So
So
Tinker and Curiosity, Andrew.
Curiosity gets 10 temporary hit points at the end of the turn. Tinker, you've talked your turn, right?
Yes.
You get 10 temporary hit points. Dree, you only get 7. And that's it.
Nice.
Quick question. Did it buy my fake item at all? Or have I just kind of thrown something away and it was just like, oh.
You don't know yet. It can't. It's not moving yet. It's just taking a mythic action. It looks like.
Okay.
I mean, it's intelligent enough to know that if it tries to run after it, there's stuff right next to it that it needs to deal with first.
Gotcha.
So, with that in mind, it is going to spin around. Does your statue have a DC? An AC, sorry.
It does.
Great. Will a 25 hit it?
Of course.
Just got to check. Ashnon is also attacked. So it's going to spin around, hitting them both with these nunchucky chain things for 16 damage, slashing damage. And then, is your statue immune to lightning damage?
Good question. Let me have a quick look. No, it is not.
Then it takes 7 lightning damage as well.
Ow.
Yeah. So it's trying to shake both of those off with that attack. Okay, Ashnon is going to try and, in that spin, Ashnon's going to try and keep hold. And she does, somehow. It spins round really fast and she's just going, ah! And the nunchuck kind of flips back in and whacks her for all this damage, but she clings on. She's doing her best, dang it. The unnetworked Dorises, please remind me, Josh, Tinker's instruction was to help restrain, wasn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. They're all going to rush in and crowd it from all angles. And I guess it's going to try and make a contested grapple against the four of them. They're not that strong. Could you please make me... I think just to try and consolidate this and save time rather than rolling for each one, could you make me a strength attack? Like you would the grapple, it would be an athletics check, wouldn't it? But their strength modifier is +1. But do it with advantage because there's all four of them trying to do it together.
So I can go off with the base stats, can't I? So that is going to be +1, so 17.
Could be cheeky and try and add the built for success thing we have that all Dorises have.
You could. You don't need to because I rolled a nat one.
Oh. Okay. I'll shut up.
So they all grab onto its many legs and it's now sort of like, release me. Right, that is their turn. We're coming down to Ashnon's turn, who is also going to try and attack again. That's not going to hit. That's not going to hit. Okay, Ashnon is too dizzy and is just flailing. That is the end of her turn. It is going to get another mythic action now. So it is going to... Sorry.
The Dorises get 9 temporary hit points.
Amazing.
And the dragon gets 8 temporary hit points.
Okay. That's going to take me forever to... No, don't add 90. No, just 9.
I'm a good healer, right?
You're so good. This is all coming from your Twilight.
Yes.
Is it? Incredible. That's great.
Like stardust.
Beautiful. Okay, so they've all got 9 temporary hit points, and the statue also gains them as well, right? Is that what you said?
Is it a creature?
Evie?
It's a construct.
I guess.
Although for, I guess, rules-wise, you are all technically constructs, but we're considering you creatures.
Constructs are creatures, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep, the advancing item also gets 12 temporary hit points.
Incredible.
Incredible.
It's probably going to need them. Because we've come in for another big spinny chainy electric attack. I should have written it down. What is your statue's DC again? Was it
16?
16, yeah. Which conveniently is the same as Ashnon's. So we rolled 17, which will hit. There was one that was below that, which will not hit, and then I rolled a nat 20. So that's 2 attacks. One is doubled. The first one is going to come in for that's 10 slashing damage.
Cool.
And 7 lightning damage. And then the next one is going to come in for 2, 6, 11, 12, 13, 17 slashing damage.
And that is the end
of
Gregarious Tusk riding a shark and also dancing.
It shatters. It shatters. So
Gone
sad.
too soon.
In a spray of lightning and chains and metal and stone. And the campestry sings a mournful fugue. And Ashnon is looking deeply wounded, as well as these nunchucks spin around and slash into her. She screeches out with pain. And I think she's going to, sort of as a reaction, drop off it. So she's no longer trying to grapple it or hang on. She's not going to try and run away just yet because she's clever enough that it'll give it an opportunity to attack her, but she's going to hang around nearby and sort of cower, looking for a moment to escape. She's not used to being a frontline fighter. We're going to come round to Sassy's turn.
So, I'm gonna start with a smash with my spiritual weapon.
Great.
So that is a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
For 12.
12 will not hit, I'm afraid.
Fine. So next one is these.
This is actually the first attack that you've missed. So there's something that I told you in the break that we've not had a chance to introduce yet into this combat, which is loop tokens. So your loop tokens, you have 2 each, and they represent this loop failed. We're going to go back and try it again. And we know what succeeded, and we're going to try that one thing that failed one more time. So you can use your first loop token will allow you to re-roll. And once you've used that, if you use another loop token again, that is a free pass, a free success. So I'll leave that with you. It's up to you. You don't have to use it.
Yeah. Let's use it. I imagine that in this fail loop, Megadoris is just tore apart, and we are just there, vulnerable. In the loop, I will roll with advantage that attack.
Yeah.
So I will roll again. Pew pew pew. 24
That definitely will hit.
for 7 force damage.
7 force damage. Great.
Yes. And then as this halo that is around us of dim light from my Twilight Sanctuary, a little bit of stars start appearing as I cast Spirit Guardians.
Yes, nice.
So, all my allies are going to be unaffected, but obviously the other creature is going to be affected. Yeah, and at their turn, I will tell you what to do.
Okay.
And that's it. And I have my temporary hit points, so it's fine. And that's my turn.
Great. Lovely. So we do now come round to the creature's turn. It's going to look at all of you. You are 20 foot away. Those of you who are in the Megadoris. We didn't actually canonically set where Sassy was, but you were not in it, were you? You were a bit further away. Or were you? No, you were in it, weren't you? Okay,
yeah.
So you're all in the Megadoris at the moment. So you are now 20 foot away from it. I think what it's going to try and do is grab Ashnon and drag her over to all of you and throw her into you as an attack. Now, she is the same size as it, but it is strong and furious, so it's going to try at least. So
as they begin the turn, could you please make me a wisdom saving throw 15?
Oh, yeah, sure. That's going to be a 14.
So you take full damage from my stars for 19 radiant damage.
Oh, is that as it enters your
Faerun
space?
bless me and attacks this thing. Also, the speed is halved, if that helps from something.
Interesting. The range of your spirit guardians is what, within 10 feet of you?
15.
Within 15 feet. So it travels 5 feet, and the rest of the 15 feet is like it's doubled. So it can't get all the way up to you, which is good to know. But it's got to try and drag Ashnon first, and it completely stacked that. So she's going to get an opportunity attack against it, which will not hit. She sort of weakly scrabbles at it, but her heart's not in it because really she wants to use this excuse to get away. So she's quite excited that it's plowing towards you, but as it hits your wave of spirit guardians, it does look like it is resisting and starting to really feel the pressure of that. 17 radiant damage.
How's that for incorrect?
This is unusual, certainly. 17 radiant damage, yes? Great. As it bears down upon the group of you, it is going to take the arm that did the flamethrower before is going to rotate, almost like it's switching to a different setting, and it's going to project directly towards the Megadoris. Wait, we had the little Dorises that were grappling it as well, so it had to make a strength saving throw to get past all of them as well. My huge apologies. Let's honor that. Can you please make me a strength? It's going to try and break out. Can you make me that strength check with advantage?
With advantage, yes. Where's my other D20? There it is.
I rolled a 23.
I rolled 215, so 16.
Cool. They will all get a little opportunity attack though, as it moves away from them. It's like it doesn't care about them at all. So they all have a +3 to hit. So there's 4 of them. If all 4 of you want to roll a d20,
Yeah.
And you're looking to roll maths 13 or higher on the dice.
Oh, I rolled a 14. Yeah.
13.
Great. That's 2 attacks hit. None for Mike because Mike's dice are going to Mike's dice. Ali?
Natural 1.
Okay. Well, Josh and Evie, your Dorises get to do an attack. Could you please roll a d6 and add 1 to it?
Ugh, I rolled a 1, so 2.
2 damage.
I rolled a 6, so 7.
Nice. That's 9 damage. Well done, little Dorises. They kind of do, like they've got like tiny little scraps of metal that they're just sort of like jabbing with and poking at it with. Cool. Okay. So it is going to storm past them, get close to you, and it's going to switch its fire weapon. Could you, someone please, make a dexterity saving throw for the Megadoris? In fact, this should be curiosity. Really, you are the legs.
Hit. Stop putting this stuff on me.
Those rolls, Mike, we depend on those.
Oh,
No pressure.
that is. What's our dex?
+4 for saving throw.
Oh, 22.
22.
20.
Incredible. Welcome to the game, Mike's Dice. So you do manage to sort of lunge awkwardly out of the way as this cone of pure electricity fires towards you. So you're only going to take half damage as you just catch the edge of that cone. So it was 20 and now it's down to 10. You are vulnerable. Wait, are you not vulnerable when you're
Doris
vulnerable?
is.
I was gonna ask if
Dorises are.
Megadoris was.
Yeah.
I've not included it, which means Passnat intended for it to be that way. So you take 10 lightning damage.
Oh, that change.
It is going to follow up with its arms, which have a 10-foot reach. So it's not right up close to you, but its arms can stab out. So it's going to stab out at you with the non-spinny lightning arms for now.
It has disadvantage because of heat metal.
It has disadvantage. Thank you very much. So, first one is going to be an 18.
As it goes to attack us, the eye in the center, just where Tot is, begins to glow, and all of the armor radiates like a gold. All of the symbols and everything glow, and like a little bubble shield forms around it as I cast shield on the entire thing.
Nice.
Our AC is now 21.
21. Okay, great. So I need to roll a 13 or higher on my disadvantage for the next two. There's an 18 on the dice, so that will hit. And a 5. So we get one attack. We'll swing in and stab down. And again, you will be grappled by this this long arm that will come down and stab into the armor just right next to little Tot. And that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 piercing damage will come into the Megadoros. How's the Megadoros looking?
Looking okay.
Great, a challenge. That's what I like to hear. It's done its spell. It's lightning attack. It's done its 3 arm attacks. That is the end of its turn. We swing back round to Curiosity.
I think I need to just start placing a bit of... Well, I need to be a ranger. Start placing down some consistent damage. So I'm just going to start shooting. Oh, hello. 27 to hit.
Will hit.
My first attack with 10 piercing damage.
Great.
Second attack is a 24 to hit.
Will hit.
For 6. So 16 altogether.
Smashing. Piercing, I should say.
Piercing. Mm-hmm. Any bonuses? We're looking okay. Yeah, I'm going to hold off for now.
Great. At the end of your turn, those chains are going to start spinning around again. So with disadvantage, and I've got to roll a 13 or higher on the disadvantage, right? No, 15 or higher.
13 or higher.
13 or higher.
Yeah, AC still 21 till my turn.
So that's 1 misses, 2 misses, 3 misses. As you can do some cool limbo action as those lightning chains spin around.
Well, it just hits into the shield and we're just like menacingly coming towards it.
Terrifying. Great. Tinker, you're up.
Bonus action, I shall heat metal.
Uh-huh.
Which doesn't take up a spell slot. That'll be 10 points of fire damage.
Great.
It needs to make a constitution saving throw, please. DC 15.
Sure. DC 15, you say?
Yes.
For constitution, that's going to be a 22.
Okay, so it doesn't drop the thing that's hot, which it can't anyway, so it still has disadvantage on attacks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Attacks and ability checks. I shall then... Are we still grappled by it?
Yeah, you still have one of those arms kind of plunged into you.
Okay, I'm going to firebolt it. Because I'm technically within close range of it, this would be a disadvantage. But I'm going to use my breastplate of balance to spend a charge on it to ignore that disadvantage. So it's just a straight roll.
Great.
Firebolt. That is a 23 to hit.
That will. Roll your damage.
And that will... which will be better than that, but that's 6 points of fire damage.
Hey, every little helps. It's starting to look a bit staggered again.
Awesome. And then can my steel defender do anything?
So in the same way, in the same capacity as you, it is locked into the chassis of the Megadora, so it cannot move. If it has any attacks that have a 10-foot range, because it's only a little, like, but I will allow that it's not like the attack can come from the Megadoris chassis because it's inserted in it. It's kind of both at once, your Steel Defender, like the big one, and the little ball. They're kind of part and parcel of the same thing.
It's got a 5 foot. I was just going to get the headbutt it. Is its attack?
I will allow. You didn't use any movement on Curiosity's turn. I will allow that you, if you wanted to stagger forwards 5 foot as part of Curiosity's turn to kind of, you're all kind of working together.
Yeah.
I'll allow that.
Okay. And then it'll just sort of headbutt it. Oh, that was nearly. It just slid on the natural 20, then rolled over to a 14. There's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, it will.
And that would be 10 points of force damage.
Great.
Just picture that the eye just sort of twists, fires out into the creature, and then bounces back into the slot. And then that's my turn.
Incredible. The Campestry continues to sing. Dree, what would you like to do?
Question is does it have a creature that is incapable of a sense of humor? Can it still fall prey to Tasha's hideous laughter?
That is a great question.
I have a joke for it.
I feel like it would say in the spell if creatures without a sense of humor would be unaffected by it. You have noticed that it seems to be, spell attacks. It has felt like it's got some level of magical resistance to it. That it's sort of, but it's rolled badly and you've rolled well, so it's actually not affected much. So I think that sounds like the kind of thing that you need to try to find out, right?
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Okay, looking at the centipede. What are we even calling it?
I mean, you've not asked it its name.
Oh, let's go with Charlie.
Sure.
Yeah, I look at Charlie and I say, "Have you heard the one about the Modron that got trapped inside of a vegetable? It was in courgette." And can it make a wisdom saving throw for me?
I'm not doing that. That was too good.
Frantically scrambles for boot card.
But also, yes, that was very good. Wisdom save, you say?
Wisdom save, yeah.
Okay. Great. The heat metal is affecting, would give it disadvantage, but it has magical advantage. This is flat, right?
It's not against saving throws.
Okay. I did roll a natural 20 in that case.
It's fine. It has no sense of humor.
You could use a loop token.
I'm using the loop token.
I just wanted to give you that as a. I want this to succeed. Great. So I will roll again. What? Okay. Well, this dice I'm keeping forever because it rolled another natural 20.
Can I use my loop token on Evie's turn? Just because I'm out of pure spite. I want to see this joke work now.
Sure. This is your reaction to intercede again. Go on.
Worth it.
Yes. This time I rolled a wisdom save. Total will be 12.
Ha ha ha! It fails. It now finds everything hilarious, is laughing, and is prone.
Great. It has still got a claw stuck into you, so I think it's going to stagger you forwards as it falls prone and sort of twitches on the floor, going, "Ha, ha, ha! What is this mirth? I do not. Ha." Is that everything on your turn?
Ah, the power of comedy. I'm also going to give inspiration to curiosity. Now.
Nice.
At the end of your turn, it is going to try and swipe out. I mean, it is prone, so it has this with disadvantage, but it is going to
It's
try
also
and...
incapacitated.
Incapacitated.
Mm.
Incredible. So no mythic action for it then. I guess not. The little mini Dorises, they've not been given any other instruction from their glorious leaders, so they're going to run in while it is prone and try and pin it down. It is Ashnon's turn. I think she's going to see you all standing up to this thing and looking slightly feral is going to slink away into the shadows towards her horde.
Oi.
You can spot this, you can speak to her, but she will like, you've got this, right? Defenders, defend me. I must protect my horde. And she scoots away. Sassy, it's now your turn.
Sassy. Let's start with a wonk. So, interesting.
It's still
It's a
within
melee
range.
attack, so I roll with advantage because it's prone.
Mm.
For 11 to hit.
11 to hit does not hit. You still have a
I'm
loot
gonna
token.
stay like that. So that's my bonus action. As my action, I'm going to toll the dead. Wisdom
Nice.
saving throw 15, please.
I will do that. Yes, that's going to be 21. I'm afraid.
Okay.
Oh,
That's my turn.
no. You still have one loop token left.
It's okay.
No? Okay. Fair enough. At the end of your turn, it can't use its mythic action because it's still incapacitated. Does it have to use its turn to break out of Tasha's?
Does it not end at the end? Is it the end of your turn or the end of its next turn?
At the end of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, it can make another wisdom saving throw. So it is now its turn.
So,
It's not
wisdom
been
saving
damaged.
throw 15 again, please.
Great. This will be, yeah. That, no. 14.
So you take 18 points
Oh.
of radiant.
Wait, is this for your
Spirit Guardians.
Spirit Guardians? 18 radiant damage. Oh, nice. Okay. So that triggers Tasha's. So it can now make the wisdom saving throw to try and defend that. You going to say something, Evie?
Yeah, that tends to happen at the end of its turn, but yeah, I've just kind of gotten lost a little bit.
At the end of each of its turns and each time it takes damage. So the start of its turn, it takes damage from Spirit Guardian, so it's going to make a wisdom saving throw. And if I fail this one, then it will be the end of its turn, and it'll make another wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay. The one at the end of Spirit Guardians fails, so it doesn't do anything, and it cannot take its turn because it's incapacitated. It continues to mirth. Computing, mirth, processing. And then we will go to the end of its turn. Fails again. It continues to twitch on the floor. Curiosity. You have advantage.
I think I'm just going to have to... Well, I can't shoot it because I'd lose my advantage. So I'm going to run over and bonk it with my...
I mean,
Stick.
it's lying on the floor. You're already there.
Oh, actually, Oh,
Opponent.
the slammer is going to hurt everything else around me. Damn it. I shall. Yeah, I'll bonk it.
Oh, I should mention, by the way, that my Bardic Inspiration dice, it can be, if you can use it on attack roll to deal thunder damage.
That's a 13. I'm going to use a built for success to add a d4 on. That makes it a 15. And then I guess just in case that doesn't hit, I'll whack the. Is it a d8 on as well?
Yeah.
Or 21.
Will hit.
By any chance, don't you have Hunter's Mark?
I don't. I didn't take it.
For the Bardic Inspiration dice, the creature that you hit needs to make a con saving throw. And then if they fail, they'll take thunder damage.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a 16 on its con save.
That passes, so unfortunately nothing.
So we shall do some damage. That is 7 bludgeoning.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my second bonker to bonk bonk.
For my second bonker to bonk bonk of the day.
We have a 30-20.
Will hit.
And we shall see what that.
Remind me what the DC was, Evie, for Tasha's?
It was 14.
That was 8 points of bonkety bonk bonk damage.
How many times have you taken 8 points of bonkety bonk bonk damage? Not often enough.
Could you make me a strength saving throw as well, please? As I forgot to use my ensnaring strike that I cast ages ago.
That's a 19.
Okay. That didn't work.
At the end of your turn, it looks like it suddenly goes still. And there's a moment where you're like, oh. And then it's like it's managed to clear the virus infesting it with that laughter and put it aside. And the torso twists around, rights itself, and it's going to do that mythic action. Big spin again, and you're right up in its face. So,
Disadvantage.
with disadvantage, the first one will miss. The second one will miss. The third one I rolled a nat 20 on that same dice again, but a 6 on the other one. So all three of them miss as it wildly spins around. It is looking like it is sparking all over the place. That claw that was still stuck in you. In this moment, as it looks like it is, I don't know, a hit away from death, it is going to channel its energy through that claw into the chassis of the Megadorus. And it's like, in chronological time, for the briefest second, you are all networked with this creature. And it shares with you some images. I mean, first of all, you learn that its name is a Nonarut, and how rude of you for not asking before. You're going to see some images of a desolate landscape. Smoke rising, ashen ground, an army marching towards a lush green grove, a pink sky. There is something in the back of your head that suggests that this is the Feywild. But none of you have ever been there or seen it, but through this image, you know that that's what it is. And behind this army, it does not look as magical a place as it should. It has been decimated. And as the army gathers, ready to descend, we see at the top of the hill, looking down upon this small grove, this last bastion of magic here. Under instructions from above, 5 spherical robots, automatons. You recognize, very removed from what you are right now, yourselves. Under instructions to destroy anything that does not obey. And you see other flashes arise to power. A misuse of magical items. Someone too foolish to realize what he's doing, but clever enough to realize that if he gets his hands on automatons that can remember after a time loop has happened, then he can use that power, that knowledge, to take advantage of everyone else and change the world. And it is not a pretty one. And you realize that where the Nonnaroot has come from is the future. Is this wasteland that you have led an army to decimate. And you have finally, under Tusk's command, become strong enough and dangerous enough that the gods are scared. So they decided to do something about it. And with that image left in your mind, the Nonnaroot collapses down. It's still not fully dead, but the claw that was stuck in you removes. And it's sort of like bugs do when they're kind of on the brink, the multiple claws just sort of curl in on itself. And it looks at you and says, "You understand, my mission is of utmost import. If you destroy me, another will come. We are inevitable."
Some might say you'll be back.
Inevitable, Mr. Doris.
We're still technically in initiative. Tinker, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Tinker is devout to Tusk. Probably one of the only people that likes Tusk. So I will heat metal to start off with. Because, burn it. For 10 points of fire damage.
Stops moving.
Right. Now, how do we stop that thing from happening in the future? That vision that we had. How do we stop that? I like Tusk and everything, but I'd rather not.
Yes.
To kill everything.
How is Tusk going to control us in the future?
He's obviously found some sort of a way.
What if we just take the stuff and blow this place up and go back to, clearly, I'm going to be honest, what we all deserve and should be doing, which is exploring. let's go. Even if, we can't get it back to the, nebulas and stars, maybe we find a path. Take all the stuff that will stop, hopefully, it happening, and just get out of here.
I think we need to destroy ourselves. If we are no longer around, then that vision that we saw cannot come true. I've reverted back to robot voice.
Or if we split up so that we are never united again, maybe that would be enough to prevent the vision.
All it would take is for Tusk to get hold of that, and I point to the rod. And if he has found a way to not forget himself, which he would probably study us to work that out, then he could just continuously loop the world until he finds where we are.
Tinker, make me an intelligence check, some kind of arcana, or what's your passive investigation?
Passive investigation is 17.
Make me an arcana roll.
Good okay. I could have done that on the thing, but it was a 20 dirty. So used to rolling.
Yeah. You know what this kind of creature is now. Like, an inevitable. An agent of Primus. A creature of pure logic. There is something about what it was doing, the way it was trying to destroy the object, that meant that it didn't work. The Lumira Draith was just able to it was able to recognize what was happening and reset before it was actually destroyed. But you remember, because you all shared that moment in a way, even though it happened to Sassy, that spark of angry chaos that was furious that Sassy didn't go that way. You remember the reason that separated you from the other Modrons that Primus had raised up to lead the march, to protect Primus's armies. The thing that separated you was when you were awakened, a divine spark of chaos interceded. And that's what you've got. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's why you're remembering. Maybe that will help.
I have another idea that we could do. We could reset the loop. Now, go into one final loop. And we could talk to this thing, and I'll say its name, and say to it that it cannot destroy the Luma, and that it must take it to Primus and ask it to take us with it as well. We've seen the visions, we know what happens. Maybe under Primus's care, that won't happen.
But did we get the idea that Primus is angry at us?
You are rogue Modrons, you are incorrect.
At this point, all you feel Sassy's fear for atonement from this god and be disposed.
Dree will turn to Tinkertot and just say, I've just started to be alive. You are not going to confine me to death. I don't want to die. I won't let you let me die.
It was just an idea. What about if we offered to go into the Underdark with the dragon? and help them with whatever problem they had down there. I'm smiling, but I can't smile because I'm a Taurus.
Can I?
I-
Go.
I honestly don't know what the correct answer is. All I know is that something else is going to come for that rod, and something is eventually going to come for us to stop us from.
Can I pick up the rod and try to, if not attune, at least try to convey any sentience, intelligence, purpose, because I think you remember you said that there is something broken or like not all right with this.
Roll me an Arcana check. Or an investigation, whichever's higher.
Probably either is as bad as the other. Arcana or investigation. I'm gonna roll an Arcana, and I'm gonna guide myself. Not good. Can I use my loop token?
Interesting question. Because that assumes that you are going to loop. So, if you wanted to use it, the implication would be you would need it to be. You would need the non-root to attempt to destroy it again. So the question is, do you wait around to see what happens, or do you try and do something yourself? So the loop token doesn't work in this situation.
Yeah. I will live with my 8 in Arcana.
Yeah, I mean, I'll restate the stuff that Tinker got. In terms of this thing seemed to be able to work its way around logical attacks. But you are chaotic. If nothing else, my darlings, you are chaotic.
Jesus. So, okay. I look at Dre. From all of us, if someone is the most chaotic, it's you.
Well, thank you.
Can you describe this rod, DM?
It is probably about 60, 70 centimeters long. Silver in color, maybe about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and it has elven engravings along the length of it.
But it's a simple rod.
Yeah, but holding it before, Dree got the sense of like being able to like place it into time itself.
I give it to Dre, and I say, think of the most random melody that you can think about, with the most random tempo, and try to fit it there. Try to make this part of that random chaos of your mind. Some sort of like, imagine your music chart or your music record and place it like one of the bars there.
Okay,
And I guess guidance.
I'd like to listen very hard to the magical rhythm of this object and see if I can discern where it is and attempt to disrupt it with chaotic vibes, essentially.
I'm going to send chaotic vibes its way.
Yeah.
I think to understand it, obviously we've tried Arcana and Investigation. Maybe try a performance check this time.
That I can do. Oh, okay. So 27.
Fantastic. Great. As you start listening to this magical rod, to the sounds that no one else can hear, the sounds, the sort of ethereal from the weave sort of sounds that it's creating, you do get a feeling of it is afraid and it's protecting itself. But it knows time and it can predict bad things. So it's got that sense of confidence within it. You know within you that you could sing to the harmonics of it in just the right way to nudge it off kilter, so that when it is destroyed, when it is attacked, it's interesting. There's a part of you that feels fear about this. It's almost like you can see into the potential future of what will happen. That time will reset, but the Luma Adrath will be shattered in the process. Time can continue on. If it doesn't exist, Tusk can't use it to take advantage of you. Tusk can't use you to take advantage of the world if he can't loop time. But in the process of destroying it, knocking it off kilter with your chaotic harmonics, you will still go back in time to that cupboard. And you will reset to the state you were in before the loop started. Doesn't mean you're dead. There's a whole world of possibilities out there. But you've seen the alternative future.
Just have to figure out all the stuff that we've figured out already.
Would we still have... Can I tell if we would still have a directive to wake up?
Really hard to tell. It's possible it was the Luma Adrath doing that.
You will get through the psychic connection. I think I've cracked it. Are we willing to take the risk? I vote yes.
I'll do it for Manari.
Is that not effectively ending our existence?
Not necessarily. We might be able to regain our consciousness again. It's gambling.
But it also means that it could put us into a position where we could be manipulated more easily.
But the Luma Adrath would be safe from Tusk.
I just
Curiosity?
wanted to go on another adventure. But there's not right a lot of worth going on an adventure without you guys, really. So might as well take the chance for a adventure that I guess we won't remember, but there's no reason why we won't find ourselves or someone brand new the next time around. I might be called, I don't know, Ricochet. We could be completely different people next time. But
I don't want to forget what we've done. Or
Yeah.
what we will do.
The only other choice is we nick it off a dragon and run away.
You have two choices ahead of you. A couple of different paths. Which way do you go?
What about Dr. Durrani? We've not seen any evidence of their body here anywhere. What if we were to contact them and see if they can help with... They are the one who created this rod. Maybe they're the one that can stop it from doing whatever it's doing.
Is there a time limit on when you can do your trick, Trey?
Do I feel like I'll be able to tap into this again?
What, as in, like, sing along with it?
Yeah.
It feels like the kind of thing that you could do as an action.
Well,
It was like an investigation check, really.
What? Yeah, I'll do an investigation check.
No,
Oh, no,
as
this
in, like,
isn't
what you did was the
Oh, yeah.
equivalent of that.
Why don't we attempt to run away and find Dr. Durrani or someone else who's knowledgeable, and then if we fail, we hit reset.
what we're good at. Get trapped in a corner, tell them to piss off, they're not having it, and we just come back here.
Sounds good to me.
Sassy?
No, I don't want to move forward towards them, if that makes sense. What if Dr. Durrani is also behind this plan? What if
She did
Toss
seem like a piece
has
of work.
Dr. Durrani?
Then we hit reset.
Do we know how to hit reset?
Just gotta destroy it. Attack it, destroy it, but send it off kilter with the harmonics at the same time.
As long as
Well within your capabilities.
as long as it doesn't find another autosave point between where we are now and wherever we end up.
Imagine, no. No, I think Ali wants to destroy it now. Sassy is just afraid of not acting on time.
Like we did in the dark when you were scared, curiosity's just going to take your hand. Come on. I want to show you all outside again.
With that, you head down to Tusk's office. This conversation has probably taken a little while. I think as you enter the bottom floor of the Nexus Arts facility, you start to hear a clanging at the top of the elevator shaft that went down, not Tusk's elevator shaft, the one that went through the main facility. You start to hear clanging again. Time hasn't reset, but another has been sent. You make your way through to the lift in Tusk's office. You take it up. You exit the facility. You see that blue sky again. It's a little bit darker. Time has passed. It's a little later in the afternoon, but not by much. Half an hour, 45 minutes at best. You are not far into running when another Nonoroot appears right next to you. You're outside the anti-magic field. They can locate you now. You can get away. You can fight it. You have just about enough power left. You didn't take that much damage in that fight, unbelievably. I tried. You can get away. And you can run. And you can try and contact Dr. Durrani. Maybe that's a story we'll discover for another time, but I leave you all with the image of 4 little Doris units, each their own selves, holding on with dear might to this magical artifact to make sure that they don't get reset. But, as the Nonna Root said, at some point, it is inevitable. As a little epilogue, we cut to darkness. A large oculus opens up to look at a satyr. Ingress! I think I got it! And Ezuran wakes up, crying. Ba ba ba! And we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the finale of Nexus Revolutions. It's been quite long, so I apologize for that, but I hope you understand we had to have an epic fight and we had to explore all the things, and I did not want to rush that decision at the end, even though I was watching the clock a little bit. Thank you for joining us for this cliffhanger ending, and who knows what will happen in the future. If you enjoyed tonight, we play every Monday or Tuesday from 6 p.m. UK time. Join us again on Fridays for something. Josh is still... The kobolds are still working on it. All of our shows streamed here at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG. You can find our content archived on YouTube. Look for Roll Together RPG. You can find us on podcasts and social media everywhere. Roll Together RPG. Oh, actually, Josh, what is happening next week on Mondays?
That is a very good question. Mike, what's your game called?
Doesn't have a name just yet.
Mystery. Well, look out for that. It's going to be great.
It's a me game, so it could be literally anything.
A massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You're all gorgeous, wonderful people. Thank you so much. If you want to join them and help support us, there's a link in chat. Do that. Thanks again to our sponsors and supporters. Sorry for keeping you so late once again, but thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Ba, ba, ba.